my beloved child. I want you to feel the absolute warmth of my presence as you listen to these words. Know that I am sitting with you right now, ready to speak directly to your weary heart. Cast aside your worries. In this sacred moment, there is no room for anxiety in your soul. You have come to me exhausted, searching for a quiet place of solace, and I am here to pour my eternal love and heavy peace over you. Be brave, my dear one. Do not let the shadow of fear take hold of your mind. I assure you, every silent tear and whispered prayer has been heard. The heavy trials that have burdened your shoulders are about to fade away like the morning mist. Do not lose your faith now, for you are never abandoned, and the promises I made to you from the beginning of time are rushing toward fulfillment. Place your heavy trust in my hands. I am standing by your side in this fierce battle. Even when you feel your strength draining, even when you contemplate giving up, remember that it is exactly in this final hour of exhaustion that you must stand tall. The obstacles blocking your path are already crumbling. Marvelous things and entirely new blessings wait just over the horizon, ready to transform your life and protect your family. Listen closely to the end, for I have a specific revelation prepared just for you today, and a great door is about to swing open. Take a deep breath, quiet your spirit, and let my voice restore your soul. Come to me, my beloved child. Come and sit quietly in the absolute stillness of my presence. The world outside your window is incredibly loud, endlessly demanding, and constantly rushing from one crisis to the next, but right here, in this sacred and protected space between you and me, time completely slows down. I want you to physically and spiritually feel the profound stillness that I am offering you in this very moment. You do not need to perform for me. You do not need to be the strong one right now. You do not need to hold everything and everyone together as you have done for so many decades. I know the sheer depth of the exhaustion that currently resides deep within your bones. I see the invisible crushing weight you carry on your shoulders every single day, from the moment you wake until the moment you finally close your eyes. For years, for entire lifetimes, you have been the unyielding pillar for others. You have been the compassionate listening ear, the comforting voice of reason, the steady hand in the dark, and the absolute foundation for your family and for those you love so dearly. But I know, as your creator, that even the strongest, most resilient pillars can begin to feel the microscopic cracks of profound fatigue when they bear the heavy loads of life for so long without a moment of true deep rest. You have walked faithfully through the scorching heat of the day. You have weathered massive, violent storms that no one else even knew you were fighting. I saw every single one of those silent tears you shed in the privacy of your room when the burden felt entirely too heavy for one human heart to endure. I heard the quiet, desperate sighs of worry that escaped your lips in the middle of those long, dark, sleepless nights. I know intimately about the times you stared up at the ceiling, your mind racing, wondering how you were going to make it through the next week, how you would survive the next month, or how you would navigate the next difficult season of your life. The weariness you feel right now is not a sign of weak faith, nor is it a sign that you have somehow failed me. It is simply the harsh reality of having walked a long, arduous journey through a broken, unpredictable world. You have been fighting intense spiritual and emotional battles on multiple fronts for decades. You have fought agonizing battles for your family's unity, relentless battles for your own peace of mind, frightening battles for your physical health, and silent battles for your very soul against the whispers of despair. And you have fought valiantly, my dear one. You have stood your ground. But now I am officially calling you away from the chaotic front lines of those silent wars. I am drawing you gently but firmly into my personal sanctuary of stillness. This is a divine place where your heavy armor can finally come off. This is a place where you can safely lay down your battered shield and let your heavy sword rest against the wall. Close your eyes right now and breathe in the rich, calming atmosphere of my grace. Feel the chronic tension leaving your neck, your back, and your anxious mind. I am wrapping my eternal arms around you, and in my embrace there is an absolute, unconditional, and overwhelming acceptance. You never need to explain your fatigue to me. I understand it perfectly. I created you, I formed your frame from the dust, and I know the exact, specific limits of your human strength. I know exactly when you need to walk, when you need to run, and when you desperately need to be carried. And my beloved child, this is the hour for you to be carried. Let my gentle spirit minister deeply to the most exhausted places of your soul. Let my living water flow over the dry, parched, and cracked areas of your heart that have given so much love, so much energy, and so much time to others, and perhaps received so little in return. You have been pouring relentlessly from a cup that has grown dangerously close to empty. Now, it is finally my turn to pour back into you. Drink deeply from the bottomless reservoir of my endless love. Let the beautiful realization wash over your mind that you are entirely safe here. The harsh demands of tomorrow can wait. The painful echoes of yesterday have absolutely no power in this space. There is only right now, and in this eternal, peaceful now, I am fully sustaining you. I am breathing brand new, vibrant life into your weary spirit. I am gently massaging the spiritual cramps and aches that come from carrying the heavy burdens of the people you love. You have worried so much about your children and your grandchildren. You have agonized over their futures, their life choices, their safety, and their salvation. You have felt the unique, piercing pain of watching them make mistakes, wishing you could step in and bear the consequences for them. You have carried their pain as if it were your own physical affliction. But my beloved, you were never meant to carry the weight of the world, nor were you designed to carry the weight of your entire family's destiny upon your own fragile shoulders. That is my job, alone. I am the sovereign, all-powerful God of the universe, and my shoulders are infinitely broad enough to carry every single person you hold dear in your heart. Surrender them to me right now. Release your tight, painful grip on their outcomes and their choices. As you intentionally hand them over to my care, you will feel a miraculous, breathtaking lightness enter your very being. It is the lightness of true trust. It is the profound peace of knowing that the God who carefully holds the billions of stars in place is also carefully holding your family, your finances, your health, and your ultimate future. Rest completely in the profound truth that my grace is entirely sufficient for you. Your endless striving can cease. Your anxious, late-night planning can pause. In this beautiful sanctuary of stillness, I am actively restoring your soul, piece by piece. I am mending the frayed, worn edges of your nerves. I am quieting the loud, chaotic, and terrifying voices of the world that demand your constant, undivided attention. Listen closely to the gentle, rhythmic whisper of my spirit telling you that everything is truly going to be all right. I have not brought you this incredibly far just to abandon you now. I have not guided you safely through decades of intense trials, heartbreaks, and challenges just to let you fall when you are weary and tired. My faithfulness is a massive, impenetrable protective canopy over your entire life, and it stretches continuously from the very moment of your birth all the way into the endless ages of eternity. You possess a lifetime of undeniable evidence of my goodness, even if sometimes it was incredibly hard to see through the thick fog of your present struggles and tears. Remember the times I made a clear way when there was absolutely no earthly way possible. Remember the heavy doors I swung open that no human hand could ever move. Remember the deep supernatural comfort I provided when your heart was shattered into 1,000 unfixable pieces. I am the exact same God today. I have not changed. My power has not diminished in the slightest. My love for you has only grown deeper and richer as we have walked this long, winding road together. So, lean your heavy head against my chest. Let the steady, calm rhythm of my heart be the lullaby that puts your deepest anxieties to sleep. You are deeply, unconditionally cherished. You are incredibly valuable to my kingdom. You are my precious beloved child, and your rest is paramount to my heart. As you rest here securely in the safety of my embrace, I want you to look around at the spiritual landscape of your life with open eyes. For far too long, you have lived trembling in the shadow of imposing, towering walls built entirely by fear and anxiety. These dark walls did not appear overnight. They were constructed slowly, methodically, brick by heavy brick, over many long years of living in a fallen, unpredictable world. A sudden disappointment here, an unexpected loss there, a painful betrayal by someone you trusted, a terrifying financial crisis, a sudden medical diagnosis that stole your breath. Every single painful surprise, every broken promise, every moment of profound, paralyzing uncertainty added another heavy gray stone to these walls. Until, without you even fully realizing the extent of it, they grew tall enough to block out the warmth of my sun. They cast long, cold, depressing shadows over your days and turned your quiet nights into terrifying battlegrounds of worst-case scenarios. These walls of anxiety constantly told you that disaster was always just around the next corner. They whispered malicious lies directly into your mind, insisting that you were never truly safe, that your loved ones were in constant, imminent danger, that your fixed resources would inevitably run out, and that your desperate prayers were merely bouncing off a cold brass ceiling, entirely unheard and forever unanswered. They convinced you that you had to remain constantly vigilant, constantly on guard, forever holding your breath and anticipating the next devastating blow. But my beloved child, hear me clearly now. Those imposing walls are built on a fragile foundation of sand, and they are constructed entirely of lies. They are terrifying illusions masquerading as absolute truth. And in this specific season of your long life, I am officially decreeing their total destruction. Look closely now with your renewed spiritual eyes. Do you see it happening? Do you feel the massive shift in the atmosphere around you? The towering walls that have kept you confined in a suffocating prison of worry are beginning to crack from top to bottom. You do not need to raise a heavy hammer. You do not need to gather your remaining depleted strength to physically push them down. You have already fought more than enough for one lifetime. Now, it is time for you to simply stand still and quietly watch the majestic salvation of your God. My divine breath, the exact same breath that spoke the swirling galaxies into existence, is blowing steadily against the dark fortresses of your fear. And they are completely crumbling. See how the heavy, intimidating stones of dread are instantly turning to fine dust and blowing away harmlessly in the wind of my spirit. See how the thick mortar of panic that held them tightly together is rapidly disintegrating under the overwhelming, undeniable power of my perfect love. Because my perfect love completely and permanently casts out all fear. Every single time you choose to trust me today, a massive section of that terrifying wall collapses into ruin. Every single time you release a deep breath of surrender, the foundation of anxiety gives way beneath it. I am actively dismantling the strongholds of worry that have cruelly restricted your joy for far too long. As the dark walls come crashing down, notice the beautiful, brilliant light that is beginning to flood into your newly opened space. It is the pure, unfiltered, glorious light of my divine presence. It reveals a vast, open, breathtaking horizon of grace that was actually always there, just hidden from your limited view by the man-made structures of your own apprehension. The suffocating, tight grip of panic around your chest is being permanently replaced by the expansive, sweet, breathable air of divine peace. You are finally stepping out of the narrow, claustrophobic, terrifying corridors of what-ifs and entering the wide-open, sunlit plains of my absolute promises. The things that once terrified you in the middle of the night are rapidly losing their power over your mind. The future, which previously looked like a dark, frightening, and lonely unknown, is currently being beautifully illuminated by the absolute certainty of my good, protective plans for you. The enemies of your soul desperately want you to believe that your current struggles are a permanent state, that the painful trials you face today will forever define the rest of your story on earth. But I declare to you with absolute authority that these trials are already fading away. They are merely temporary clouds passing quickly across the vast sky of your life, not the sky itself. The long, terrifying storm is breaking. The fierce, howling winds that threaten to entirely uproot your life are dying down to a gentle, comforting breeze. The chaotic, dark waters that angrily rose to your neck are rapidly receding. I am personally commanding the violent turbulence in your circumstances to completely cease. Peace. Be entirely still. I speak these powerful words over your mind, over your aging body, over your home, and over your entire family. The long season of constant, agonizing, exhausting struggle is coming to an absolute and final end. I am personally ushering you into a profound, unprecedented season of genuine relief. It is finally time for your exhausted nervous system to deeply calm. It is time for your racing, anxious thoughts to slow down to a peaceful, quiet stroll. It is time for your heart rate to settle into a steady, rhythmic pattern of deep, unshakable trust. Do not look down at the crumbling, dusty ruins of your fears and attempt to rebuild them. Do not reach back to pick up the heavy worries that I am actively and permanently taking out of your hands right now. Let them fall entirely. Let them turn to absolute dust. Let the wind of my spirit carry them away forever. You were never designed by me to function under the crushing, paralyzing weight of continuous anxiety. You were perfectly designed for joy. You were created for deep peace. You were formed for a deeply rooted, unshakable confidence in the absolute goodness of your Heavenly Father. So, as you watch the dark walls of fear fall apart into nothingness, lift your beautiful face directly to the light. Let the deep warmth of my truth soak completely into your skin. You are incredibly safe. You are eternally secure. Your fragile life is securely hidden with Christ in God. No weapon ever formed against you can possibly prosper, and absolutely no strategy of the enemy can bypass the thick, impenetrable shield of my love that permanently surrounds you. The exhausting battle you have been fighting in your mind is turning decisively in your favor right this very moment. The overwhelming, crushing sense of impending doom is being entirely replaced by an overwhelming, joyful sense of impending goodness. Expect my daily favor. Anticipate my overflowing grace. Look forward to the visible manifestation of my ancient promises. Because the terrifying barriers that aggressively stood between you and your blessings are now nothing more than fine dust completely under your feet. As the dust completely settles from the crumbling walls of anxiety, I want to gently take you by the hand and walk closely with you through the quiet garden of your long memories. I know that for a very long time, there are certain shadowed paths in this garden that you have deliberately avoided walking down. There are hidden corners overgrown with the thorny, painful weeds of deep regret. When you look back over the long, sweeping span of your life, your mind sometimes acts as an incredibly harsh and unforgiving critic, shining a glaring spotlight only on the moments you perceive as your greatest, most shameful failures. You clearly remember the sharp, cutting words spoken in anger decades ago that you still desperately wish you could take back. You vividly remember the decisions made in youthful haste or desperate panic that led you and your family down incredibly difficult, rocky roads. You constantly think about the painful financial missteps, the deep relational fractures, the specific parenting moments where you felt entirely inadequate, and the dry spiritual seasons where you felt you wandered incredibly far from my side. You look directly at these stumbling blocks, these bruised, battered, and broken moments in your timeline, and a deep, agonizing pang of sorrow echoes loudly in your chest. You secretly wonder if you have somehow permanently ruined the beautiful, seamless tapestry I originally intended to weave with your life. You wonder if you have entirely disqualified yourself from the fullness of my blessings because of the numerous mistakes you made along the winding way. My precious, beloved child, I want to completely and radically reframe the way you view your own history right now. I do not look at your past with a cold, calculating ledger of condemnation. I look at it solely with the warm, loving eyes of a master redeemer. You see a tragic series of unfortunate, embarrassing failures. I clearly see the rigorous, absolutely necessary training ground that deeply cultivated the profound, beautiful wisdom you possess today. Every single misstep, every painful, lingering consequence, every dark, terrifying valley you wandered through, I was right there with you in the dirt, and I have not wasted a single solitary tear you cried. I am the God who specializes in bringing dead things back to glorious life, and I am actively, right now, redeeming your lost time. What you heartbreakingly thought was a permanent burial of your hopes was actually a divine planting. The rough seeds of those hard, agonizing life lessons have been quietly germinating in the dark, rich soil of your experience, and they are now dramatically sprouting into an incredible, abundant harvest of empathy, deep spiritual understanding, and unshakable grace. The specific mistakes that bring you the absolute most shame in the middle of the night are the exact specific tools I am using to carve out a massive, deeper capacity for unconditional love within your soul. Because you intimately know what it is to fail, you know exactly how to extend extraordinary, life-changing grace to others who stumble around you. Because you have painfully walked through long seasons of deep, terrifying lack, you possess a profound, genuine, tear-filled gratitude for the simple daily provisions of today. Because you have wandered far off the path, you intimately, beautifully know the unmatched, breathtaking beauty of the road that finally leads back home to my arms. I want you to completely, permanently release the heavy, suffocating, paralyzing burden of your past regrets. The enemy of your soul absolutely loves to use your history as a sharp weapon to keep you paralyzed in the present moment. He desperately wants you to believe that your absolute best days are far behind you, entirely squandered by human imperfection. But I declare to you today, with the voice that commands the oceans, that your past absolutely does not dictate your future. Your failures have never, for a single fleeting microsecond, altered my sovereign, perfect plan for your life. In my skilled hands, your worst mistakes are completely transformed into breathtaking miracles of mercy. I have carefully, lovingly woven every jagged edge, every frayed and broken thread of your messy story into a spectacular masterpiece of redemption. The specific things that you look back on with the most agonizing sorrow are the exact places where my grace has been the most active, the most fierce, and the most profound. So, I command you, do not look back with a heavy, defeated heart anymore. look back and utterly marvel at the miraculous fact that you survived it all. Marvel at the supernatural strength I faithfully gave you to endure the painful consequences. Marvel at the persistent, stubborn, relentless love that absolutely refused to let you go, even in the moments when you felt entirely, completely unlovable. There are massive, hidden blessings, incredibly rich and profound, buried directly beneath the dusty rubble of your past failures. There is a deep, quiet, beautiful humility that can only be learned by falling down hard and desperately needing to be picked up by my strong hand. There is a fierce, unbreakable, protective love for your family that was forged solely in the hot fires of the mistakes you made and passionately resolved never to repeat. There is a seasoned, tough, incredibly resilient faith inside you now that absolutely does not panic at the first sign of trouble, because you have personally seen me rescue you from situations that were infinitely worse. These are the precious hidden treasures of darkness. These are the priceless riches of secret places that I promised in my word to give you. I am officially removing the sharp, lingering sting of your painful memories. I am completely washing away the toxic, lingering residue of your guilt. You are entirely, completely forgiven. You are perfectly, thoroughly cleansed. The precious blood of my Son has spoken an infinitely better, louder word over your entire life than the condemning, relentless accusations of your own mind. Stand incredibly tall, my beloved. Do not bow your head in shame over the long years that have passed. Every single chapter, the wildly joyful ones and the agonizingly painful ones, was entirely necessary to bring you to this exact, beautiful moment of deep spiritual maturity. You are stronger, wiser, and infinitely more beautiful in my eyes right now than you have ever been in your entire life. The deep lines on your face are not just marks of advancing age, they are the physical, beautiful map of a life that has been deeply, truly lived, profoundly loved, and continuously, miraculously redeemed by my hand. Embrace your whole messy story today, because it is the magnificent, undeniable testimony of my unfailing, perfect faithfulness to you. Now, take my outstretched hand and let us walk boldly together out of the cold shadows of yesterday. The night has been incredibly, agonizingly long, my dear one. You have slowly walked through valleys so thick with darkness that you could barely see your own trembling hands in front of your face. You have patiently endured spiritual winters so bitterly cold, so incredibly barren, that you deeply wondered if the warmth of spring would ever return to your frozen soul. But I want you to look up right now. Look directly to the horizon of your life. Do you see the faint, incredibly beautiful golden glow beginning to crest over the dark edge of the world? Do you physically feel the subtle, promising shift in the temperature of the air around you? The heavy darkness is finally breaking. The long, weary, terrifying night is finally, permanently coming to an end, and the first brilliant, majestic rays of a brand new dawn are breaking spectacularly across the entire sky of your destiny. This is not just another ordinary day. This is the official beginning of a profound, entirely new era in your walk with me. It is a season characterized entirely by radiant light, profound mental clarity, and an overwhelming deep sense of divine purpose. Step boldly out from under the heavy, depressing canopy of your history and stand firmly in the illuminating, glorious brightness of this new morning. Feel the intense physical warmth of my love hitting your face, completely thawing the hidden places in your heart that had grown hard and cold from years of disappointment and endless, painful waiting. The crisp, incredibly clean air of my Holy Spirit is actively blowing through your life right now, powerfully sweeping away the stagnant, heavy, suffocating atmosphere of depression, fear, and chronic weariness. Take a deep, intentional breath. Fill your lungs to the absolute brim with the pure oxygen of divine hope. Everything around you is finally waking up. The specific dreams that you sadly thought had withered and permanently died in the harsh, dry conditions of your past are right now beginning to show vibrant, green shoots of new, miraculous life. The specific promises I whispered to your spirit decades ago, the exact ones you had almost forgotten or heartbreakingly given up on, are suddenly, rapidly rushing toward their glorious, undeniable fulfillment. I am actively making all things new, and that miraculous sweeping renewal begins right here, right now, completely inside your weary heart. As the morning sun rises higher, the terrifying shadows that once paralyzed you completely shrink and disappear into nothingness. You can see with perfect clarity now. You can clearly see that the long path ahead of you is not fraught with hidden traps or sudden disasters, but is beautifully paved entirely with my goodness and relentless mercy. You can see that the intimidating giants you thought were permanently blocking your way are nothing more than fragile illusions that instantly vanish in the piercing light of my absolute truth. The physical and emotional energy that was entirely, completely depleted by your long, exhausting struggle is miraculously, steadily returning to your limbs. But this new, vibrant strength does not come from your own human reserves. It is a supernatural strength, an endless, bubbling well of vitality that springs up directly from my active presence residing within you. You will begin to run and absolutely not grow weary. You will continue to walk and completely not faint. Because you are no longer operating on your own fading steam. You are being effortlessly carried along by the mighty, unstoppable currents of my daily grace. As you stand breathing in this magnificent golden dawn, I want you to fully, deeply absorb the reality of the relief I am officially offering you today. It is a comprehensive, total, sweeping relief. It covers your anxious mind, bringing a calm, crystal clarity that entirely replaces the chaotic, deafening noise of worry. It covers your fragile emotions, permanently stabilizing the dramatic, exhausting highs and lows, and tightly anchoring you in a deep, abiding, quiet joy. It completely covers your physical body, releasing the tight tension and chronic pain that have heavily accumulated from years of carrying massive, invisible burdens. It completely covers your spirit, constantly reminding you of your unshakable eternal identity as my cherished, beloved, favored child. You are officially stepping into a golden season where the primary daily posture of your life will absolutely not be fighting, agonizingly striving, or barely surviving, but rather simply receiving, deeply resting, and continually rejoicing. The brutal battles that absolutely needed to be fought have been fought and won. The difficult lessons that absolutely needed to be learned have been thoroughly learned. The countless tears that absolutely needed to be shed have been carefully collected in my bottle and permanently transformed into a massive reservoir of grace for your future. Now, right now, is the designated time for the beautiful harvest. Now is the exact time for the spectacular, undeniable payoff of your lifelong, quiet endurance. I am personally rolling away the massive, heavy stone of despair that completely blocked the entrance to your joy, and I am loudly calling you to come forth into the brilliant, beautiful, blinding light of your new, glorious day. Walk forward with absolute, unwavering confidence, knowing with certainty that the light will only grow brighter and the warmth will only grow deeper from this moment on. If you are finding this profound peace speaking directly to the deepest places of your soul, hit subscribe and like so you do not miss the continuous, beautiful journey of light that we are walking together. As this heavy burden finally falls from your weary shoulders, you must prepare your heart for what comes next. Because a profound spiritual shift is about to redefine your family's future, my precious and beloved child. Now that you have rested in the profound sanctuary of my stillness, now that the heavy, suffocating walls of anxiety have completely crumbled at your feet, I am gently lifting your chin to look toward the brilliant horizon of your new dawn. The relief I have granted you is not merely for your comfort. Though I deeply desire your comfort, it is a divine preparation. I have cleared the exhausting noise from your mind and the crushing weight from your shoulders because I am preparing to elevate you to a magnificent, supernatural spiritual level. You are stepping into a profound season of divine promotion. The world around you possesses a very narrow, incredibly flawed perspective on the passage of time. The world carelessly whispers that as the years advance, your usefulness fades, your influence wanes, and your primary season of impact is safely tucked away in the past. But in my eternal kingdom, the exact opposite is the ultimate truth. In my kingdom, the silver in your hair is a magnificent crown of glory, forged in the fires of lifelong faithfulness. Your advancing years are not a slow fading of the light, but rather the intense concentration of divine wisdom that only decades of trusting me can properly produce. I am taking the vast, beautiful tapestry of your life experiences, both the joyful triumphs and the agonizing trials, and I am using them to place a heavy, glorious mantle of generational leadership squarely upon your newly strengthened shoulders. You are absolutely not finished. In fact, your most crucial, most powerful, and most eternally significant assignment is just beginning to unfold. I want you to deeply understand the profound majesty of this supernatural elevation. For many years, your primary focus was necessarily fixed on the immediate, tangible needs of your life. You worked tirelessly with your hands to provide earthly bread for your household. You focused on the daily, physical protection of your children, tending to their immediate hurts, guiding their earthly education, and navigating the constant, exhausting demands of worldly survival. You did this beautifully, and I honor the massive sacrifices you made to build a secure foundation for those you love. But now, I am officially calling you higher. I am elevating your spiritual vision high above the temporary, fleeting concerns of this present earth. I am inviting you to step up onto the high mountain of my presence, where you can look out and clearly see the grand, sweeping spiritual chessboard of your entire family's lineage. The mantle I am placing upon you today is the sacred mantle of the intercessor, the spiritual patriarch or matriarch of your bloodline. This is not a burden that will crush you. It is an incredible privilege that will completely invigorate your soul. I am anointing your specific prayers with a new, unprecedented measure of divine authority. When you speak my promises over your children, over your grandchildren, and even over the generations of your family that have not yet been born, your words will carry the absolute weight of heaven. You will no longer pray from a place of desperate, frantic panic, begging me to put out the immediate fires of their daily crises. Instead, you will pray from a place of supreme, elevated authority, confidently declaring my eternal will over their destinies, speaking divine protection over their minds, and commanding the spiritual atmosphere of your entire home to align perfectly with my goodness. As you step into this beautiful role of generational leadership, I am giving you the specific spiritual tools necessary to completely break the inherited chains of family doubt that have plagued your bloodline for generations. Every single family carries a unique history, a specific spiritual inheritance passed down through the years. And in many families, there are long, dark threads of inherited sorrow woven deeply into that tapestry. Perhaps you can look back through your family tree and clearly see a repeated pattern of broken relationships, a lingering shadow of financial devastation, a chronic tendency toward deep despair, or a persistent, heartbreaking wandering away from the truth of my word. These negative patterns are not mere coincidences. They are the intentional, malicious works of an enemy who seeks to bind your family in a perpetual cycle of defeat. But my beloved, I have sovereignly chosen you to be the ultimate turning point in your family's history. I have positioned you right here, in this exact moment, to draw a firm line in the spiritual sand and boldly declare that the cycle of destruction stops with you. Your steadfast, unyielding faith is the incredibly powerful wedge that is currently splitting the heavy chains of generational doubt completely in two. When you choose to absolutely trust me in the face of impossible circumstances, you are not just securing your own peace. You are actively rewriting the spiritual DNA of your entire family. You are deeply planting seeds of absolute faith that will inevitably grow into towering oaks of righteousness for your grandchildren to safely shelter beneath. I intimately know the silent, agonizing pain you feel when you watch the ones you love struggle with the very same doubts and destructive patterns that perhaps hindered your own journey years ago. You see the younger generation being relentlessly swept away by the loud, confusing currents of modern culture. You watch them surround themselves with negative influences that subtly but effectively sow toxic seeds of unbelief into their fragile hearts. You see them settling for lives that are entirely devoid of true eternal purpose, tragically drifting further and further away from the magnificent grace that could instantly transform them. And in those terrifying moments, you feel so incredibly small, so entirely helpless, wishing you could just reach into their minds and physically turn their faces back toward the light. But I tell you today, you are not helpless. You possess the most powerful weapon in the entire universe, your persistent, elevated faith. The absolute greatest inheritance you will ever leave for your family is not a collection of earthly possessions, nor is it a massive bank account that can vanish in a single day of economic ruin. The absolute greatest, most valuable treasure you can possibly leave them is the undeniable living example of a life completely surrendered to an all-powerful God. Long after you are gone from this temporary earth, your descendants will vividly remember the quiet strength you displayed in the midst of terrifying storms. They will remember the profound, unshakable peace that constantly radiated from your face when the rest of the world was engulfed in absolute panic. They will clearly remember that when everything else in life completely failed you, your God absolutely never did. Your life is becoming a powerful, living testament, a beautiful, undeniable monument to my faithfulness that will continuously speak to your family for generations to come. To sustain you in this magnificent, incredibly important work, to give you the daily stamina to stand firm as the spiritual pillar of your family, I am deeply inviting you to feast continually on my divine presence. You cannot possibly fulfill this massive generational calling by relying on your own rapidly depleting human strength. You cannot draw the necessary wisdom from the polluted, shallow wells of worldly philosophy or the frantic, fear-driven opinions of the evening news. You must come to me daily, for I alone hold the true, eternal bread of life that satisfies the deepest, most profound hungers of your weary soul. The world constantly offers your family a dazzling array of empty, artificial sustenance. It promises them lasting happiness in the pursuit of wealth, temporary peace in the accumulation of perishable possessions, and deep fulfillment in the fickle, incredibly fragile validation of other people. But you and I both intimately know that these things are entirely hollow. They are nothing more than spiritual junk food that leaves the soul desperately starving, tragically undernourished, and constantly craving more of what can absolutely never satisfy. But I am the magnificent source of living water that permanently quenches your deepest, most agonizing spiritual thirst. When you come to me in the quiet stillness of the early morning, when you open my living word and let its profound truth wash completely over your mind, you are actively feasting at a lavish, supernatural banquet that I have prepared exclusively for you in the very presence of your enemies. I want you to deeply experience the radical, life-changing difference between the stagnant, toxic water of worldly distraction and the pure, rushing, incredibly powerful river of my grace. When you drink deeply from my living water, your entire perspective is instantly and completely transformed. The things that once absolutely terrified you suddenly lose their menacing grip on your imagination. The heavy, suffocating anxieties about tomorrow are completely washed away by the absolute, reassuring certainty of my eternal presence. This divine sustenance does far more than just comfort you. It actively fortifies your spirit, building a massive, impenetrable wall of inner strength that absolutely no earthly crisis can ever breach. It is entirely because you are continually feeding on this supernatural bread of life that you will not crumble when sudden, unexpected adversity strikes your household. While others around you entirely collapse under the crushing weight of bad news, you will remain deeply rooted, completely calm, and entirely unshaken. Your soul will be incredibly full, overflowing with my perfect joy, my profound understanding, my enduring friendship, and my protective Holy Spirit. And from this place of massive, overflow spiritual abundance, you will finally have the pure, unending capacity to deeply pour into your family. You will not be offering them your own frantic worries or your own desperate attempts to control their chaotic lives. You will be offering them the pure, unadulterated love and absolute peace of Jesus Christ, flowing effortlessly, directly through your surrendered heart. This is exactly how you become the magnificent, towering lighthouse for your family when the rest of the world around them is violently drifting away into the pitch-black sea of confusion. I want you to clearly visualize a massive, ancient lighthouse standing incredibly tall and completely unyielding on a jagged, rocky cliff overlooking a violently raging ocean. When the sky grows terrifyingly dark, when the massive, destructive waves of cultural shift and worldly temptation begin to violently crash against the shore, the lighthouse does absolutely not panic. It does not frantically jump off the solid rock and desperately swim out into the dangerous, chaotic water in a futile, exhausting attempt to physically drag the lost ships back to the safety of the harbor. If it did that, its crucial light would be instantly extinguished, and both the lighthouse and the ships would be entirely lost to the dark depths. No, the lighthouse perfectly understands its profound, singular purpose. It is firmly, permanently bolted to the massive, ancient bedrock. It stands incredibly still in the midst of the violent, howling storm, and it does one thing with absolute, unrelenting consistency. It shines its brilliant, piercing light as brightly and as far as it possibly can into the deepest, most terrifying darkness. My beloved child, in the chaotic, rapidly darkening culture of this modern world, you are that magnificent, towering lighthouse for your family. I am the massive, ancient, unshakable rock of ages upon which you are permanently, securely built. The fierce, terrifying storms of doubt, negative influence, and worldly distraction are indeed violently sweeping many people away right now. You watch with a heavy, breaking heart as some of your own dear loved ones, your precious children or grandchildren, perhaps even your lifelong friends, make foolish, deeply painful choices that steer their lives directly toward treacherous, hidden rocks. Your immediate, desperate human instinct is to completely abandon your post of peace, to throw yourself frantically into the chaotic, freezing water of their personal crises, and to try with all your fading physical strength to force them to change their destructive direction. But I am clearly, firmly commanding you today to stay securely on the rock. Do not allow their chaotic, worldly storms to steal your deep, supernatural peace. Do not allow their tragic, temporary unbelief to diminish the brilliant, radiating intensity of your unwavering faith. Your primary, most crucial job is not to miraculously fix them. That is my job alone, and my arm is absolutely not too short to save even the most distant rebellious wanderer. Your job is to stand incredibly firm, to remain completely, beautifully joyful in my presence, and to let the supernatural light of my Holy Spirit shine so brilliantly, so undeniably through your life that they cannot possibly ignore it. When the younger generation in your family finally grows desperately exhausted from endlessly fighting the violent, unforgiving waves of the world, and they absolutely will grow exhausted, they will desperately begin looking around in the terrifying darkness for a safe, reliable way back home. They will be searching frantically for something, anything, that is completely real, deeply authentic, and entirely unshakable. And when they look directly toward the rocky shore of their family history, they will not see a frantic, worried, panicked relative. They will see you. They will clearly see your magnificent, quiet dignity. They will see the profound, unexplainable joy that radiates from your face even when your bank accounts are empty and your physical body aches. They will see the pure, unconditional love that you continue to extend to them, no matter how many times they have foolishly stumbled or pushed you away. Your life, entirely sustained by the divine bread of life and the rushing living water, will be the absolute, undeniable proof that I am entirely real. The brilliant, steady light of your faithful example will be the exact, specific beacon I use to gently, safely guide their battered, broken hearts all the way back into my waiting, restorative arms. You will not have to say a single forceful word. The magnificent, supernatural reality of your elevated spiritual level will speak infinitely louder than 1,000 beautifully crafted sermons. I know that right now, standing firmly in that brilliant light can sometimes feel incredibly lonely. It can feel deeply isolating when it seems like the entire world, and perhaps even some members of your own household, are eagerly rushing in the exact opposite direction of my truth. But I promise you with absolute, eternal certainty that you are never, ever standing alone. My powerful warrior angels are continuously gathered completely around you, constantly strengthening your spirit and heavily guarding your mind against the relentless, discouraging lies of the enemy. I am personally pouring my absolute boundless affection completely over you every single morning when you choose to open your eyes and seek my face before doing anything else. If you deeply desire to continue building this magnificent, unshakable faith for your family and to stay permanently anchored in the pure, comforting truth of my word, hit subscribe and like so we can continue this profound, life-changing journey together every single day. The beautiful, supernatural elevation you are currently experiencing is absolutely real, and it is going to yield an incredible, massive harvest of generational blessings that will completely astound your earthly mind. This newfound strength will make you a brilliant beacon for your loved ones, but to protect this light, you must learn exactly how to defend your spirit from the silent traps set by the enemy, my beloved child. As you stand incredibly firm in your glorious new calling as a towering lighthouse for your family, illuminating the deep darkness with my magnificent truth, you must be thoroughly prepared for the inevitable reality of what that brilliant light will attract. When you begin to walk in a profoundly elevated spiritual realm, when you entirely refuse to be pulled under by the heavy, chaotic currents of worldly despair, your unwavering peace will inevitably become a glaring spotlight that exposes the deep insecurities and the hidden bitterness of those who have chosen to remain in the dark. You have already felt this painful reality, have you not? You have sensed the sudden, unexplained shifts in the atmosphere when you enter a room. You have heard the subtle, cutting whispers that quickly fall silent the moment you draw near. You have deeply felt the sharp, stinging arrows of misunderstanding, false accusations, and cruel mockery from people you once believed were walking alongside you. I intimately know the agonizing pain that these betrayals cause in your tender heart. I see the tears of absolute frustration that well up in your eyes when your pure intentions are maliciously twisted into something unrecognizable. I know how desperately your human nature wants to rush forward, to loudly defend your reputation, to aggressively explain yourself, and to forcefully correct the false narratives that are being spoken against your character. But today, I am personally handing you a massive, impenetrable shield of divine wisdom, and I am actively instructing you in the highest, most advanced strategies of spiritual warfare. This is absolutely not a battle fought with loud, angry words or frantic, exhausting arguments. The absolute greatest, most profound weapon I am giving you in this specific season is the majestic, unyielding dignity of divine silence. I want you to deeply understand the supernatural power that is contained within a deliberately closed mouth. When the enemies of your peace hurl their toxic insults, when they desperately attempt to drag you down from your elevated mountain of faith into the dirty, chaotic mud of their own personal misery, they are secretly hoping for a reaction. They are aggressively fishing for your anger, your defensiveness, and your pain. Because if they can successfully make you react, they can successfully steal your focus and drain your precious, hard-earned spiritual energy. But I am commanding you today to completely deny them that satisfaction. When you are faced with cruel mockery and baseless slander, I want you to remember the absolute, breathtaking majesty of my Son, who stood completely silent before his loud, frantic accusers. He did not utter a single word to defend his flawless character, because he knew with absolute certainty that his ultimate vindication belonged solely to his heavenly Father. You must deeply adopt this exact same powerful posture. Let the frantic, noisy world desperately argue. Let them endlessly debate. Let them shout their toxic opinions into the wind. But you, my precious child, you will remain perfectly, beautifully silent. Your divine silence is not a sign of weakness or passive submission. It is a profound declaration of absolute, supreme strength. It is the undeniable physical manifestation of a heart that is so completely, deeply secure in my love that it absolutely does not need the fragile, fleeting approval of broken humanity. When you choose to remain quietly dignified in the face of vicious attacks, you are actively stepping back and allowing my massive, powerful warrior angels to step completely forward. I am the righteous judge of the universe, and I am the sole, fierce protector of your reputation. I have personally promised to fight for you, and all I require you to do is to hold your peace. Every single time you successfully bite your tongue, every single time you choose to take a deep, calming breath instead of launching a defensive counterattack, you are actively frustrating the dark plans of the enemy and proving that you are entirely untouchable by their petty malice. Let your profound, unbothered peace be the loudest, most devastating answer you ever give to those who maliciously attempt to pull you down. As you learn to master this beautiful, dignified silence, you must also develop a sharp, piercing spiritual discernment to clearly recognize the hidden, deceptive masks of the envious. The most dangerous threats to your spiritual elevation will very rarely come dressed in obvious, frightening armor. The enemy is incredibly cunning, and in this mature season of your life, the warfare has become deeply subtle. The people who are the most fiercely jealous of your unexplainable joy, the people who deeply resent the abundant blessings that are beginning to flow into your household, will very often present themselves to you wearing convincing, comforting masks of deep friendship and sincere concern. They will approach you with warm, flattering smiles, but their underlying spirits are utterly cold with envy. They will ask you incredibly probing, detailed questions about your life, about your finances, about your children, and about your future plans. They will skillfully disguise their malicious interrogations as innocent curiosity or religious accountability. But I am placing a divine, highly sensitive alarm system deep within your spirit today. When these individuals begin to casually dig into the sacred, private areas of your life, you will instantly feel a sudden, undeniable lack of peace in your gut. You will feel a subtle, chilling draft in the spiritual atmosphere. When that happens, you must act with immediate, decisive intelligence. Do not be naive, my beloved. Do not operate under the dangerous false assumption that everyone who warmly smiles at you deeply wants to see you succeed. You are carrying massive, profound, world-changing promises from heaven, and you must become a fierce, unapologetic guardian of those precious treasures. I am explicitly instructing you today to completely stop casting your beautiful, priceless pearls before swine. When I whisper a profound, entirely new plan into your heart in the quiet hours of the early morning, when I give you a massive, exciting vision for the future provision and total restoration of your family, you must learn the vital, absolute necessity of keeping it completely secret. A divine promise is exactly like a fragile, newly planted seed. If you immediately dig it up and enthusiastically show it to everyone around you, exposing it to the harsh, unforgiving elements of human doubt, toxic cynicism, and deep-seated envy, that precious seed will quickly wither and permanently die before it ever has a chance to take root. You must protect the seed. You must keep my specific plans for your life tightly locked away in the deepest, most quiet, incredibly secure vaults of your heart. Allow the beautiful miracles I am actively working in your life to fully, completely manifest in the physical realm before you ever speak a single word about them to the watching world. Let the undeniable, visible fruit of your massive blessings do all the loud talking for you. Your enemies will be utterly, completely frustrated and deeply confused when they continuously see you advancing, prospering, and overcoming every obstacle, yet they absolutely cannot figure out how you are doing it. They will desperately search for the secret source of your sudden success, but they will never, ever find it, because you have intelligently, wisely hidden your profound vulnerabilities and your sacred strategies securely beneath the protective, impenetrable shadow of my wings. Do not give anyone the specific, detailed means to betray you. Love people unconditionally, serve them graciously, but display a strong, guarded character that completely refuses to be an open book to those who carry malicious, envious intentions in their hearts. To properly sustain this high level of divine wisdom, you must actively, aggressively build an absolutely impenetrable fortress around your heavily guarded heart. Your heart is the sacred, holy wellspring of your entire existence. Out of it flows all the profound issues of your life. If the enemy cannot successfully trick you into giving away your precious secrets, he will completely change his strategy and attempt to actively pump toxic poison directly into your well. The primary, most effective delivery system for this spiritual poison is the dark, destructive sin of slander and gossip. I know that in your desire to be a supportive, listening ear to those around you, you have sometimes allowed yourself to become a silent, passive participant in conversations that tear down the character of other people. You have patiently listened as others poured out their bitter judgments and their harsh, critical opinions about the flaws of their neighbors, their family members, and their fellow believers. But I am giving you a strict, uncompromising command today. You must absolutely refuse to receive, listen to, or spread a single word of slander about anyone, no matter how justified it may seem to your human mind. When someone approaches you with a juicy, toxic rumor, when a conversation suddenly takes a dark turn toward mocking or tearing down another human being, you must have the absolute courage and the deep spiritual integrity to immediately, firmly walk away. Do you deeply understand what actually happens in the spiritual realm when you willingly lend your ear to malicious gossip? You are literally opening the heavy, guarded gates of your inner fortress and warmly inviting a dark, destructive, insidious spirit of bitterness directly into your sacred sanctuary. The poisonous words you hear will violently attach themselves to your own mind, completely coloring your perception of the world and slowly, methodically eroding your own capacity for unconditional love. The absolute ultimate goal of the enemy is not merely to cause you temporary relational trouble. His absolute ultimate goal is to make you exactly like him. He desperately wants to transform your sweet, life-giving water into toxic, bitter sludge. He wants to fill your heart with so much suspicion, so much judgment, and so much offense that you entirely lose the delicate, beautiful sensitivity required to hear my quiet voice. But you will not allow this to happen. You will actively build the massive, towering walls of your internal fortress with the heavy, solid, unbreakable stones of my eternal promises. You will seal every single crack and crevice with the thick, binding mortar of relentless, unceasing prayer. You will violently, intentionally cast out every single negative thought, every bitter assumption, and every critical judgment the absolute second it attempts to cross the threshold of your mind. You will deliberately choose the beautiful, protected path of divine isolation over the dangerous, toxic path of worldly integration. Let them call you antisocial. Let them whisper that you are acting too holy or that you suddenly think you are better than everyone else. None of their opinions matter in the slightest. What profoundly matters is that you completely maintain the absolute sparkling purity of your heart. For it is only the pure in heart who will truly, fully see me actively moving and working in their daily circumstances. As you perfectly secure the high walls of your inner fortress and master the beautiful art of divine silence, you will eventually reach the absolute highest, most breathtaking pinnacle of spiritual warfare. This is a level of supernatural maturity that entirely baffles the earthly mind and completely, utterly disarms the dark kingdom of the enemy. It is the profound, miraculous ability to look directly into the face of someone who actively wishes you harm, someone who has deeply betrayed you or maliciously slandered your name, and offer them a genuine, unforced smile of pure, extending grace. I am not speaking of a condescending, arrogant smirk designed to provoke them. I am speaking of a deeply rooted, authentic smile of absolute, unshakable peace. It is the majestic, beautiful smile of a beloved child who knows with total certainty that the Creator of the universe is actively holding their entire life in the palm of His hand. When you smile at your enemies in this profound way, you are actively declaring a massive spiritual victory. You are showing them, without uttering a single word, that their toxic poison has absolutely zero effect on your joy. You are demonstrating that your profound happiness is entirely disconnected from their approval and entirely unaffected by their malice. But I am calling you to go even deeper than a smile. When your enemies are actively struggling, when those who plotted your downfall suddenly find themselves in a season of deep thirst and desperate need, I am instructing you to treat them with shocking, unexpected patience. If they are thirsty, use your newly acquired spiritual strength to hand them a cup of cool water. If they stumble and desperately need assistance, offer them your hand with absolute, dignified grace. This is the ultimate, incredibly powerful inversion of the world's broken rules of engagement. The world demands harsh retaliation. The world demands that you crush those who have hurt you while they are down. But my kingdom operates on an infinitely higher, more powerful law. When you actively choose to do incredible good to those who have passionately hated you, you completely sever the heavy, dark spiritual chains that bind you to their actions. You absolutely refuse to let their deep darkness dictate your own behavior. You remain entirely, beautifully free. You protect your own soul from the corrosive, deadly acid of revenge. And in doing so, you heap burning coals of profound, undeniable conviction upon their heads. Their own malice will deeply choke them when it is met entirely with your overwhelming, confusing, completely unmerited goodness. They will watch you prosper, they will watch you completely ignore their attacks, they will watch you smile at their hatred, and they will grow absolutely, utterly desperate when they finally realize that there is absolutely no earthly way to divert you from the magnificent, blessed path I have chosen for you. If you find this divine wisdom anchoring your soul and deeply wish to continue walking in this highly protected, majestic light, hit subscribe and like, so we can keep fortifying your invincible spirit together. I will permanently remove these toxic distractions from your life at the exact, perfect, appointed time. But until that moment, you will continue to move incredibly forward with unshakable faith, massive enthusiasm, and relentless effort. With your enemies silenced and your path finally cleared of distraction, the heavens are ready to release the provision you have prayed for, provided you possess the one essential key that unlocks it all, my deeply cherished child. As you continue to stand upon the solid rock of my eternal promises, completely sheltered from the chaotic storms of the world, I must now place into your hands the most profound and vital spiritual key of your entire journey. It is a key forged in the fires of divine love, polished by the quiet tears of your lifelong endurance, and designed specifically to unlock the absolute highest dimensions of heaven's treasury. This magnificent key is the unwavering, majestic power of unshakable gratitude. The world around you looks at gratitude as a mere social courtesy, a simple, polite response offered when someone hands them a temporary gift or does them a fleeting favor. The world reduces thanksgiving to an afterthought, a brief nod of acknowledgement before quickly turning their demanding eyes toward the next desire, the next necessity, or the next pressing crisis. But in my eternal, supernatural kingdom, gratitude is absolutely never an afterthought. It is a massive, sovereign, spiritual weapon. It is the fundamental, foundational posture of a truly mature believer. It is the active, powerful language of the heavens, and I am calling you today to become absolutely fluent in its beautiful vocabulary. I want to teach you how to completely transform your daily existence by establishing a sacred, unyielding morning altar of thanksgiving deep within the quiet sanctuary of your heart. I see you every single morning, my beloved, in those fragile, delicate moments when you first open your eyes and transition from the realm of sleep back into the demanding reality of your earthly life. I know that as your physical body ages, the mornings can sometimes feel incredibly difficult. You may wake up with a quiet groan, feeling the deep, lingering aches in your weary bones, carrying the physical residue of decades spent working tirelessly for your family. And even before your feet physically touch the cold floor of your bedroom, the enemy of your soul is already there, standing entirely in the shadows, waiting to ambush your waking mind. He desperately tries to flood your very first conscious thoughts with a heavy, overwhelming tidal wave of anxiety. He immediately reminds you of the unpaid bills sitting on the kitchen counter. He loudly whispers terrifying what-ifs about your health. He replays the bitter arguments of the past and aggressively projects catastrophic scenarios about your children's futures. He wants your very first breath of the day to be a heavy sigh of absolute defeat. He wants you to step out of your bed already feeling crushed, already completely exhausted, and already convinced that the new day will be nothing more than another miserable, agonizing struggle for survival. But I am fiercely commanding you today to entirely disrupt his dark, predictable strategy. I want you to completely intercept those toxic morning arrows of dread with the massive, impenetrable shield of intentional praise. Tomorrow morning, when your eyes first flutter open, before you even attempt to move your aching limbs, before you look at the demanding screen of your phone, and before you allow a single thought of worry to cross the sacred threshold of your mind, I want you to deliberately, forcefully build an altar. This is not a physical altar made of cold stone or carved wood. It is a magnificent, spiritual altar constructed entirely out of your deliberate, conscious choices to honor me. I want you to lie there in the quiet stillness of the dawn and force your lips to part. I want to hear your voice, even if it is a weak, raspy whisper, intentionally speaking words of profound gratitude directly into the atmosphere of your room. I want you to say, "Thank you, my Heavenly Father, for the absolute miracle of the breath currently filling my lungs. Thank you for the incredible gift of one more day on this earth to witness your goodness. Thank you that your mercies are entirely brand new this morning, completely washing away the failures of yesterday." When you make this beautiful, deliberate choice to offer a sacrifice of praise right in the middle of your morning weariness, you are doing something so incredibly powerful in the spiritual realm that it would absolutely astound your earthly mind if you could see it. You are taking complete, sovereign authority over the atmosphere of your home. The deep, heavy, suffocating spirit of despair absolutely cannot breathe the pure, oxygen-rich air of genuine gratitude. When you begin to list the things you are thankful for, the sturdy roof securely over your head, the warm bed you are resting in, the food that will nourish your body today, the quiet presence of my Holy Spirit dwelling permanently within your soul, the dark shadows of anxiety are violently forced to flee. They absolutely cannot withstand the blinding, radiant light that erupts from a truly thankful heart. You are actively laying down a firm, unshakable foundation for the rest of your day. You are powerfully declaring to the unseen realms that no matter what unexpected challenges arise, no matter what frustrating news the world attempts to deliver, your ultimate joy is entirely, completely secure, because it is deeply anchored in my unchanging nature, absolutely not in your fluctuating circumstances. You must deeply understand that the spirit of despair is a highly calculated, insidious thief. It targets older believers with a specific, cruel intensity, trying to convince you that because you are in the later chapters of your life, you have somehow been forgotten, left behind, or completely abandoned to face your physical and financial trials alone. It wants to wrap a thick, suffocating blanket of bitterness around your heart, making you completely blind to the millions of tiny, beautiful miracles I orchestrate for you every single day. The enemy desperately wants you to fixate entirely on what you have lost. He wants you to obsess over the vibrant physical energy you used to have, the beloved friends who have passed away, the financial security that perhaps slipped through your fingers, and the deeply painful regrets of missed opportunities. If he can successfully lock your gaze firmly onto the things you lack, he can entirely drain your spiritual power and leave you paralyzed in a state of perpetual, agonizing victimhood. But the majestic, powerful key of unshakable gratitude is the absolute antidote to this toxic, paralyzing poison. Gratitude is the sovereign shield that completely deflects the fiery arrows of self-pity and deep depression. When the enemy cruelly points out the increasing fragility of your physical body, I want you to aggressively raise your shield of gratitude and loudly praise me for the profound, beautiful wisdom that has taken root in your mind. When the enemy maliciously points out the empty spaces at your dining table, I want you to raise your shield and fiercely thank me for the incredible, lasting legacy of love you have successfully imparted to the generations coming after you. When the enemy attempts to terrify you with the completely unpredictable fluctuations of the worldly economy, I want you to boldly raise your shield and loudly declare that I have been your faithful, unyielding shepherd for decades, and I have absolutely never, ever allowed you to permanently starve or be utterly forsaken. Gratitude completely rewires the neural pathways of your aging brain. It forces your eyes to look upward toward the eternal, majestic hills from where your true help comes, rather than looking downward into the terrifying, dark abyss of your earthly problems. It entirely transforms your perspective from a posture of constant, exhausting deficit to a posture of overwhelming, overflowing abundance. And as you learn to aggressively wield this massive shield of gratitude against the spirit of despair, you must also learn a profound, vital lesson about the true nature of your relationship with me. I am currently aligning the heavens to pour out massive, unprecedented blessings upon your life. I have heard your desperate, tear-filled prayers for financial relief, for the complete physical healing of your body, and for the total, miraculous restoration of your broken family relationships. The specific answers to those long, agonizing prayers are already dispatched and are rapidly making their way toward your earthly reality. But I must ask you a highly crucial, deeply probing question. My beloved child, what exactly will you do when the heavy doors finally swing open? What will be the true posture of your heart when the overflowing provision finally arrives, when the crushing debts are entirely erased, and when the deep, relational wounds are beautifully, permanently healed? Will you be like the 9 lepers who, upon receiving the miraculous, life-changing healing they desperately begged for, simply ran off into the world to wildly enjoy their new lives, completely forgetting the divine hands that had just cleansed them? Or will you be like the one, the beautiful, singular, grateful soul who stopped completely in his tracks, turned entirely around, and fell passionately at my feet to offer a tear-drenched sacrifice of ultimate thanksgiving? It is a profound, heartbreaking tragedy in my kingdom when a believer deeply loves the temporary blessing far more than they love the eternal blesser. There are so many people who come to my throne room entirely out of sheer, terrifying desperation. They weep, they fast, they beg, and they continuously promise me their absolute, undying devotion if I will only rescue them from the specific fire they are currently standing in. And because I am a God of infinite, staggering mercy, I often reach down and completely extinguish the flames. I provide the new job, I heal the terrifying illness, I restore the broken marriage. I deliver them entirely from their immediate crisis. But the absolute moment the severe pressure is off, the exact moment the bank account is full again and their physical body stops hurting, their passionate, burning prayers begin to slowly, methodically fade. Their early morning visits to my sanctuary become less and less frequent. Their loud, desperate cries for my presence are completely replaced by the quiet, comfortable complacency of a satisfied earthly life. They take the beautiful, miraculous gifts I gave them and they build comfortable, secure little idols out of them, absolutely convinced that they achieved this new stability by their own wisdom, their own intense effort, and their own human strength. I am strongly warning you today, my precious child, do absolutely not fall into this common, devastating trap. If you receive the massive, miraculous answers to your prayers, but slowly forget the all-powerful God who sovereignly reached down and saved you, your beautiful blessings will inevitably begin to wither and permanently die, exactly like a delicate, beautiful flower that has been entirely cut off from its vital source of living water. I absolutely do not desire your mere material offerings. I do not want you to simply tip me with a tiny fraction of your time or a small obligatory portion of your finances as if I were a hired servant who performed a successful task for you. I am the Lord God Almighty, the eternal creator of the vast universe, and the only thing I deeply, truly desire is your whole, undivided, passionately devoted heart. I want to occupy the absolute, supreme, foremost place in your daily life, not just when you are violently sinking in the chaotic ocean of crisis, but also when you are peacefully, securely sailing on the calm, beautiful waters of profound prosperity. You must deliberately, intentionally cultivate a heart that honors the eternal giver infinitely above the temporary gift. The financial provision I am sending you is wonderful, but it is ultimately entirely perishable. The physical healing I am granting you is beautiful, but this earthly body is still ultimately temporary. The only thing that will completely, permanently survive the fiery end of this age and transition into eternal glory is the deep, intimate, beautiful relationship forged between your spirit and my spirit. Therefore, you must learn to actively water your daily prayers with continuous, unceasing praise. When the massive blessings arrive, you must immediately bring your abundant thanksgiving directly to my holy altar. You must deeply value and profoundly appreciate everything you receive from my hand, no matter how small, no matter how seemingly insignificant it may appear to the greedy, demanding eyes of the world. Because when you maintain this absolute, pure attitude of profound gratitude, you create a massive, supernatural vacuum in the spiritual realm that actively draws even more of my divine favor directly into your life. True, authentic gratitude is the exact, specific spiritual mechanism by which your earthly blessings are continually, infinitely multiplied. I want you to close your eyes right now and deeply visualize what actually happens in the unseen, eternal realm when you choose to open your mouth and offer genuine, heartfelt praise in the absolute middle of your difficult earthly circumstances. You are not just speaking empty, meaningless words into a cold, uncaring void. You are not merely engaging in a helpful psychological exercise to temporarily boost your human mood. When you speak my name with deep gratitude, when you loudly thank me for your life, your family, and my continuous protection, your voice instantly pierces straight through the heavy, dark, suffocating layers of the earthly atmosphere. Your specific, unique voice travels at the absolute speed of divine thought directly into the massive, blindingly brilliant eternal throne room of heaven. The absolute moment your pure praise echoes in my holy courts, an incredible, breathtaking chain reaction is violently set into motion. The millions of majestic, powerful, warrior angels who constantly surround my throne immediately fall totally silent to listen to the beautiful, compelling sound of a human being choosing to bless their Creator from the painful, difficult trenches of the earthly battlefield. To the angelic host, the sound of your pure, unmerited gratitude is the absolute most beautiful, intoxicating music in the entire universe. And because your praise completely aligns your heart with my sovereign, perfect will, it acts as a massive divine authorization for those angels to immediately move aggressively on your specific behalf. I instantly dispatch them with precise, unbreakable, sovereign commands. They rapidly descend from the highest heavens, their massive wings cutting fiercely through the dark spiritual resistance that attempts to hinder your life. They violently push back the demonic forces that are actively trying to sabotage your health and destroy your family's unity. They begin rapidly shifting immense, complex earthly situations, softening the hard, bitter hearts of your enemies, aligning completely unexpected opportunities in your favor, and meticulously rearranging the entire fabric of your daily circumstances to ensure that my absolute best plans for you are completely, undeniably fulfilled. You absolutely cannot fathom the sheer, staggering magnitude of the unseen angelic activity that is constantly happening completely around you at this very moment. When you simply sit at your kitchen table, bow your weary head, and offer a sincere, tear-filled prayer of thanks for the modest meal in front of you, my warrior angels are standing at absolute strict attention completely around your house, holding massive, flaming swords of divine protection, entirely ensuring that no strategy of darkness can successfully penetrate the sacred borders of your property. When you walk slowly down the street, quietly whispering songs of praise under your breath for the beautiful warmth of the sun and the incredible gift of my continuous forgiveness, My ministering angels are actively walking closely beside you, gently removing the hidden, dangerous stumbling blocks from your immediate path and actively preparing the hearts of the people you are about to encounter to treat you with profound, unexpected favor. Your unshakable, persistent gratitude is the absolute, definitive signal to the heavenly host that you fully, completely trust my sovereign leadership, and it completely unleashes their terrifying, magnificent power to work massive, undeniable miracles in your daily life. I am explicitly calling you to a level of mature, profound faith that absolutely refuses to complain about the temporary inconveniences of the journey. The world is entirely full of bitter, loud, ungrateful people who constantly focus on what they do not have, fiercely demanding that the universe cater to their every selfish whim. They violently curse the darkness, yet they entirely refuse to strike a single match of faith. But you, my highly favored, deeply cherished child, are cut from an entirely different, magnificent, supernatural cloth. You have been beautifully transformed by the agonizing, refining fires of your past trials. You know intimately that every single breath is a massive, unmerited gift. You know that I have sovereignly rescued you from the dark, terrifying edge of disaster more times than you could ever possibly count. You know that even in the absolute darkest, most terrifying valleys of your life, my strong protective hand has never, ever let you go. Therefore, your mouth must absolutely overflow with constant, unceasing praise. You must loudly, boldly declare my supreme goodness to anyone who will listen. You must share the profound hope and the massive, unexplainable peace you receive today with the broken, exhausted people around you. You must become a living, breathing, incredibly powerful testament to the absolute, undeniable reality of a God who deeply, passionately loves his children and completely responds to their thankful hearts. I want you to make a firm, unbreakable, sacred commitment to me right this very moment. Promise me that starting tomorrow, and for every single day that remains in your earthly journey, your absolute first conscious act of the day will be to build that beautiful, invisible altar of thanksgiving in your mind. Promise me that you will aggressively, violently fight the dark, paralyzing spirit of despair with the massive, invincible weapon of your gratitude. Promise me that when the heavy golden doors of my provision finally swing wide open and the massive blessings pour directly into your waiting hands, you will absolutely never, ever forget to look up, to fall to your knees, and to passionately, deeply honor the eternal giver who sovereignly bestowed them upon you. Promise me that you will live every single moment intimately aware of the massive angelic host that is actively fighting for you, perfectly responding to the beautiful, powerful frequencies of your thankful soul. When you fully, completely embrace this magnificent posture of unshakable gratitude, you entirely cease to be a fragile victim of your earthly circumstances, and you powerfully become a majestic, unyielding master of your spiritual atmosphere. You completely rise above the petty, exhausting, chaotic dramas of the temporal world, and you deeply anchor your soul in the absolute, permanent, unshakable realities of my heavenly kingdom. The deep, lingering pain in your heart will miraculously, permanently turn into profound, undeniable purpose. The heavy, suffocating ashes of your past disappointments will be completely, beautifully exchanged for a magnificent crown of unexplainable joy. And the long, agonizing years that the locust has eaten will be entirely, abundantly, supernaturally restored to you. Pressed down, violently shaken together, and completely running over. As your genuine praises reach the highest heavenly realms, a profound inner transformation will take root within you, bringing a level of emotional maturity that no storm in this world can ever shake, my deeply beloved child. as the beautiful, triumphant echoes of your unshakable gratitude continue to ring through the highest, blindingly brilliant courts of heaven. Actively setting my massive angelic armies into motion on your behalf, I now want to draw you even closer into the intimate, quiet safety of my embrace. We have completely torn down the suffocating walls of your anxiety, and we have established the fierce, magnificent weapon of your daily praise. But now, I must address the deep, hidden, highly sensitive interior of your soul. I must gently place my healing hands upon the delicate, fragile architecture of your mind and your emotions. For I know that even as you bravely stand in the bright, promising light of this new dawn, there are still quiet, lingering shadows desperately trying to pull you backward into the dark. I want to speak directly, tenderly, and with absolute sovereign authority to the heavy, invisible ghosts of your past mistakes that still occasionally haunt the quiet corridors of your mind in the middle of the sleepless night. I know intimately how the cunning enemy of your peace operates. When he completely fails to terrify you with the uncertain future, he immediately changes his cruel strategy and attempts to completely paralyze you with the unchangeable past. He acts as a relentless, malicious prosecutor inside the private courtroom of your own thoughts. He pulls out thick, dusty, heavy files of your oldest regrets and dramatically reads them back to you when you are feeling your absolute weakest. He forcefully reminds you of the specific words you spoke in a moment of bitter anger decades ago. Words that you still desperately, agonizingly wish you could completely erase from the fabric of time. He sharply points out the financial missteps you made when you were trying your absolute best to provide for your family, aggressively whispering that your current earthly struggles are entirely your own fault. He cruelly highlights the inevitable, painful imperfections of your parenting, attempting to convince you that the current struggles of your grown children are the direct, permanent result of your personal failures. He replays the seasons of your life where your faith grew dangerously cold, where you foolishly wandered away from my protective presence, and where you sought temporary, hollow comfort in the broken, toxic cisterns of this fallen world. He uses these heavy memories as a massive, suffocating blanket of deep-seated guilt, desperately hoping to permanently extinguish the brilliant, joyful light of the new spiritual elevation I have just granted you. He wants you to believe that you are forever defined by your absolute worst moments, permanently stained by your errors, and therefore completely unworthy of the massive, incredible blessings I am currently preparing to pour into your household. But my precious, fiercely cherished child, I am stepping directly down from the high, majestic bench of the righteous judge, and I am walking right into the center of that terrifying mental courtroom. I am taking those thick, heavy, condemning files directly out of the hands of the accuser, and I am throwing them permanently into the massive, consuming, unquenchable fire of my divine grace. I declare to you today, with the absolute, unyielding authority of the Creator of the universe, that the ghosts of your past mistakes have absolutely no substance, no power, and no legal right to torment your mind for a single second longer. They are nothing more than terrifying illusions, empty phantoms that completely vanish the absolute moment you turn on the brilliant, piercing light of my written word. You must deeply, completely understand the breathtaking, unfathomable magnitude of the forgiveness I have already freely given you. When my Son, Jesus Christ, hung in absolute agony upon the rough wood of the cross, when he shed his pure, royal, innocent blood for the redemption of the entire world, he did not just make a partial payment for your sins. He did not leave a lingering balance of guilt for you to agonizingly pay off through years of depression, self-hatred, and perpetual emotional penance. He cried out with a loud, victorious, world-shaking voice that it is entirely, completely, permanently finished. The heavy, crushing debt of your failures was paid in absolute full. Therefore, The deep-seated guilt that you continue to carry around like a heavy, suffocating lead weight upon your chest is absolutely entirely unnecessary. It is a massive, tragic misunderstanding of my heart. I want to permanently apply the divine ultimate healing remedy to that deep, agonizing emotional wound right this very moment. The divine remedy for your paralyzing guilt is not found in your frantic, exhausting attempts to somehow be perfect from this day forward. The remedy is found solely in completely, utterly surrendering to the breathtaking reality of my endless mercy. Do you remember when my son walked the dusty roads of this earth and was asked how many times a person should forgive someone who completely wrongs them? He did not give a small, manageable number. He boldly declared that you must forgive 70 times 7. My beloved child, he was not giving you a strict mathematical equation to carefully track on a piece of paper. He was revealing the massive, infinite, completely exhaustive nature of my divine forgiveness toward you. He was pulling back the eternal curtain to show you that my well of mercy is absolutely, profoundly bottomless. If you stumble and completely fall flat on your face 7 times today, I will gently, lovingly reach down and lift you up exactly 7 times. If you falter, hesitate, and lose your absolute faith 100 times in a single week, I will faithfully, continuously forgive you 100 times without a single ounce of bitter resentment or exhausting frustration. My grace is not a limited, finite resource that you can ever possibly deplete. It is a massive, rushing, magnificent, unstoppable ocean. If you take a single tiny drop of dark black ink representing your absolute worst, most shameful mistake, and you drop it directly into the vast, churning, fathomless depths of the Pacific Ocean, what happens to it? It is completely, instantly swallowed up. It is permanently dissolved. It is entirely gone, completely incapable of ever being retrieved or held against you again. That is exactly what happens to your sins, your failures, and your deepest regrets when they come into contact with the massive, roaring ocean of my relentless grace. I have completely removed your transgressions from you as far as the bright rising sun of the east is from the dark, setting sun of the west. I have cast your sins into the absolute deepest, darkest, most inaccessible depths of the sea of forgetfulness, and I have placed a massive, permanent sign on the shore that reads "No fishing." So why, my deeply loved child, do you continue to aggressively cast your own mental fishing line into those dark waters, desperately trying to drag up the rotting dead things that I have already completely forgiven and entirely forgotten? You must immediately stop participating in the enemy's cruel, agonizing blackmail. I completely forbid you from holding yourself in such low, degrading regard when I have paid the highest, most unimaginable price to declare you supremely valuable. You completely belong to me, and you are of absolute, inestimable worth in my holy sight. I want you to actively, intentionally find your true, lasting freedom today by looking completely away from your own flawed track record and staring completely, obsessively at my perfect, flawless record of faithfulness. When the dark ghost of a past failure suddenly taps you on the shoulder and attempts to whisper a bitter accusation in your ear, I want you to turn around with absolute, fierce confidence and declare, I am deeply aware of my imperfections, but I am entirely covered by the blood of the Lamb. My God has completely justified me, and who is there left to condemn me? Watch as that terrifying ghost instantly vaporizes into complete nothingness in the face of your bold, unapologetic faith, as this massive, heavy burden of guilt permanently falls from your mind. You will begin to deeply understand the magnificent, breathtaking beauty of a humble, imperfect heart. The highly religious, deeply hypocritical world constantly demands a flawless, exhausting, polished performance. They eagerly surround themselves with people who wear incredibly thick, completely fake masks of absolute perfection. People who boldly stand in the public squares and loudly boast about their own goodness, their strict rule-keeping, and their apparent lack of visible struggle. These people come into my holy presence entirely full of themselves, eagerly pointing their critical fingers at anyone who is different, completely ready to harshly accuse and ruthlessly judge those whose lives are visibly messy or broken. But I tell you the absolute truth, their arrogant, polished perfection completely disgusts me. It is a massive, highly offensive stench in my heavenly courts, because it is entirely based on dangerous pride and a complete, tragic denial of their own desperate need for a savior. But you, my precious one, you are absolutely not like them. You do not arrogantly criticize everyone around you, and you certainly do not walk around thinking that you are somehow inherently better or more deserving than anyone else. Your spirit is incredibly gentle. Your daily attitude is profoundly kind. Your innermost thoughts have been beautifully purified by the hot, refining fires of your own painful struggles. You constantly come to me completely raw, entirely honest, and beautifully broken. You always approach my throne full of deep, genuine repentance, speaking the absolute unvarnished truth about your weaknesses and your fears. And I want you to know today that your sincere tear-stained honesty is the absolute most beautiful, captivating thing in the entire universe to me. Your messy, imperfect, fully surrendered heart brings me absolute, overwhelming joy. Your mistakes absolutely do not scare me away. They are the exact, specific canvas upon which I am painting my absolute greatest masterpiece of redemption. I do not desire or require you to pretend to be flawless. I only ask you to be completely, deeply mine. I want you to fully realize that it is precisely because of your brokenness, not in spite of it, that my magnificent light can shine so brilliantly through you. Think of a beautiful, ancient clay vessel that has been dropped and shattered into a dozen jagged pieces. The world would immediately sweep the broken pieces into the trash, declaring the vessel completely ruined and utterly useless. But as the master potter, I gently gather every single sharp, broken fragment. I do not just glue them clumsily back together to hide the damage. I use pure, molten, radiant gold to meticulously fill every single crack and bind the pieces permanently back together. The vessel is beautifully restored, but the golden veins where the vessel was once totally broken are now the absolute strongest, most valuable, and most stunningly beautiful parts of the entire creation. My beloved child, you are that magnificent, golden-veined vessel. The deep, agonizing cracks of your past failures, the specific places where you were completely broken by life, are exactly where my pure golden grace has flowed the deepest. You are infinitely more beautiful, infinitely more valuable, and infinitely more equipped to carry my glory now than you ever were before you fell. Because you have deeply, fully accepted this sweeping, magnificent tapestry of grace. Because your mind is no longer a chaotic, terrifying battleground of guilt and regret. I am actively bestowing upon you a profound, completely unshakable level of mental fortitude and absolute emotional stability. You are transitioning from a fragile, easily tossed boat on the surface of the water into a massive, heavy, unyielding anchor securely embedded in the deepest, solid bedrock of the ocean floor. For far too long, your emotional well-being has been dangerously tied to the incredibly unpredictable, rapidly fluctuating circumstances of your earthly life. If the daily news was terrifying, your heart instantly raced with panic. If a family member was upset with you, your entire week was completely ruined by agonizing anxiety. If your finances suddenly dipped, your faith instantly plummeted into a dark abyss of deep despair. You were constantly, entirely at the absolute mercy of your ever-changing feelings and the chaotic, surprising events of the fallen world. But I declare to you today that those contrary howling winds of life can absolutely no longer cloud your pure, renewed thoughts, and the sudden, painful surprises of this world can absolutely no longer embitter your deeply guarded feelings. I am giving you the massive supernatural power to completely separate your eternal destiny from your temporary, fleeting human emotions. You must clearly understand that your feelings, while incredibly real and deeply valid, are absolutely not reliable dictators of absolute truth. Your feelings will continuously lie to you. They will loudly scream that you are entirely alone when my angels are physically completely surrounding you. They will violently insist that you are going to starve when my massive storehouses are actively opening over your head. They will desperately try to convince you that your situation is utterly, completely hopeless when the absolute greatest miracle of your entire life is standing just seconds away from manifesting. But your new profound mental fortitude completely overrides those lying emotions. You possess the divine, incredibly powerful ability to firmly choose your response. I have given you a massive supernatural spirit of power, of absolute, unconditional love, and of a completely sound, heavily disciplined mind. When the fierce, dark temptations to fall back into fear or bitterness suddenly arise, they absolutely will not overcome you. When inevitable, minor failures happen in your daily life, they absolutely will not weaken your resolve. When you make a human mistake, it absolutely will not hold you back or completely derail your massive progress. And your daily, visible imperfections absolutely will not bring you down into the dark pit of shame. Because your ultimate, unbreakable confidence no longer rests in your own fragile ability to perfectly navigate this chaotic world, your confidence rests entirely, exclusively, and permanently in my written eternal word. You intimately know that if the sovereign God of the universe is actively fighting for you, it absolutely does not matter in the slightest who or what dares to stand against you. Imagine yourself as a massive, ancient, towering oak tree deeply planted by a rushing, endless river of living water. When the violent, destructive hurricane winds of a sudden health crisis blow fiercely against your life, your leaves may indeed violently rustle. You may deeply feel the intense, terrifying physical pressure of the terrifying storm. A few small dead branches of old habits might even be violently torn away in the gale. But your massive, solid, incredibly thick trunk will absolutely not snap, and you will entirely refuse to be uprooted. Why? Because your massive, invisible root system is wrapped entirely, securely, and completely around the solid rock of ages deep beneath the earthly soil. You have drawn so much pure water from my presence, you have absorbed so much profound truth from my promises, that you are completely, internally fortified against the absolute worst the external world can throw at you. Your emotional stability is not the complete absence of human feeling, it is the absolute, majestic presence of profound, unshakable peace directly in the center of the terrifying chaos. When your enemies furiously plot against you, desperately trying to steal your joy and completely ruin your reputation, you will not respond with frantic, exhausting panic. You will respond with a deep, calm, utterly unbothered grace, knowing with total certainty that I am already actively preparing a massive, beautiful banquet table for you right in front of their very eyes. When the global economy wildly shakes and the dark voices of the world loudly predict complete financial ruin and terrible starvation, you will not run around desperately hoarding your resources in pure terror. You will simply smile a deep, knowing smile, absolutely confident that your personal economy is completely entirely tied to the massive, overflowing, fail-proof treasury of heaven, not the fragile, manipulated, unpredictable systems of men. When sudden, painful conflict heavily strikes your own family, you will absolutely not be sucked down into the toxic, exhausting vortex of bitter arguments and long-held, resentful grudges. You will step completely back, deeply anchor your emotions in my absolute sovereignty, and you will powerfully become the steady, calm, immensely wise peacemaker that completely diffuses the bomb of division with the pure, soft, incredibly powerful water of my unconditional love. This is what true, magnificent spiritual maturity actually looks like, my beloved. It is the quiet, profound, majestic realization that you absolutely do not have to fight for your life anymore, because the ultimate battle for your soul has already been completely, permanently won. You can finally lay your heavy, exhausted head down on your pillow tonight and experience a level of deep, restorative, uninterrupted sleep that you have not felt since you were a very small, entirely carefree child. You can wake up tomorrow morning, immediately build your beautiful altar of gratitude, and walk confidently out of your front door wearing the massive, impenetrable armor of light. No heavy, dark guilt from yesterday can possibly attach itself to your mind. No terrifying, crippling fear of tomorrow can possibly enter your heart. You are completely, perfectly enveloped in an atmosphere of total grace. I am actively wiping away every single lingering tear of regret from your eyes. I am completely cleansing every ounce of heavy guilt from your conscience. I am permanently healing the deep, agonizing pain of your past, and I am standing right beside you, holding your hand incredibly tight, absolutely ready to walk with you into the most breathtaking, abundantly blessed, and profoundly peaceful season of your entire earthly existence. I am your God, I am your loving Heavenly Father, I completely adore you, and I absolutely promise that I will never, ever, for all of eternity, abandon you. With your mind now completely anchored in absolute peace and your heart washed clean of all regret, you are finally positioned to receive the incredible harvest of earthly provision I have prepared for your household, my beloved child. Now that your mind is deeply anchored in the unshakable bedrock of my peace and your heart has been completely washed clean of the agonizing regrets of yesterday, we must turn our gaze toward the physical, earthly reality of your daily life. We have spent this sacred time rebuilding your internal sanctuary, fortifying your mental fortitude, and establishing a magnificent altar of continuous gratitude within your spirit. But I am not a God who only cares for the unseen, ethereal dimensions of your soul while abandoning you to fend for yourself in the harsh, demanding economic arenas of this fallen world. I am the creator of both heaven and earth, and my sovereign authority extends just as fully over the tangible, material necessities of your household as it does over the eternal salvation of your spirit. I know that as you walk through these mature decades of your life, the practical, daily weight of financial survival can feel like a heavy, suffocating cloud pressing down upon your weary chest. You have worked faithfully with your hands for so many years. You have poured your physical energy, your sweat, and your youth into providing shelter, sustenance, and safety for the people you hold dear. Yet, as you look at your current circumstances, as you watch the unpredictable, frightening fluctuations of the earthly economy, and as you see the rising costs of basic survival in a world that seems to grow more chaotic by the day, a profound, silent anxiety tries to creep back into your thoughts. You wonder how you will navigate these golden years without becoming a financial burden to your children. You look at dwindling bank accounts, rising medical bills, and fixed incomes, and you secretly wonder if the resources will run out before your earthly journey is complete. My precious, deeply cherished child, I am speaking directly to that silent, heavy financial fear right now, and I am commanding it to permanently lose its grip on your aging heart. I am officially opening the rich, boundless storehouses of heaven over your life, and I am initiating a profound, miraculous season of generational provision that will completely defy the cold, calculating logic of worldly mathematics. I want you to clearly understand why we had to completely cleanse your heart of guilt and establish your mind in absolute humility before we reached this specific topic of material provision. In my kingdom, earthly wealth is absolutely never given merely to satisfy human vanity, nor is it bestowed to fund a lifestyle of arrogant self-indulgence or prideful display. The world desperately chases after money as an ultimate idol, believing that the accumulation of perishable treasures will somehow buy them permanent security, emotional happiness, and immunity from sorrow. But you and I both know that worldly wealth is an incredibly fickle, fragile master. Riches can sprout wings and fly away in the span of a single afternoon when markets crash, when human institutions fail, or when sudden disaster strikes the earthly systems of men. Why then am I promising to pour out massive, abundant earthly provision upon your household today? Because your heart is finally ready to hold it with open palms. Because you have been deeply tested in the hot, painful fires of scarcity, and you have proven that you love the eternal giver infinitely more than you love the temporary gift. I know with absolute certainty that when I place abundant financial resources into your newly strengthened hands, you will not use them to build arrogant monuments to yourself. You will not become greedy, haughty, or forgetful of the poor. You will receive my provision with deep, tear-filled gratitude, and you will immediately use it as a sacred instrument of righteousness to bless your family, to relieve the heavy burdens of those in need, and to establish a sanctuary of absolute peace within your home. Let us speak candidly about the frightening moments when your earthly bank accounts run dangerously dry, when the normal streams of income suddenly dwindle, and when the natural world loudly screams that you are completely out of options. The enemy of your soul absolutely loves to use an empty bank account as a terrifying weapon of psychological torture. When you look at those meager numbers on a paper statement or a digital screen, he aggressively whispers that I have finally forgotten you, that your lifelong faith has been in vain, and that you are about to face humiliating ruin in your old age. But I want you to radically reframe the way you view an earthly deficit today. In my sovereign economic system, an empty bank account is absolutely never a sign of my abandonment. It is very often the exact, specific stage set for my greatest supernatural miracles. When your human strength is entirely depleted, when your personal savings are stretched to their absolute limit, and when all human safety nets have completely dissolved, you are finally in the exact position where you can no longer rely on the fragile arm of flesh. You are forced to look completely upward, to lean entirely upon my sovereign arm, and to witness with your own eyes what the God of the universe can do when man says it is impossible. Do you remember the ancient stories of my faithfulness written in my holy word? They were not recorded merely to entertain your intellect. They were preserved as eternal blueprints of how I continuously operate for my children. Think of the prophet Elijah when the terrible famine struck the land. The earthly economy completely collapsed, the crops withered and turned to dust, and the natural streams of water slowly dried up under a scorching, unforgiving sun. Did I allow my faithful servant to starve in the wilderness? Absolutely not. When the normal, conventional methods of survival completely failed, I bypassed the earthly economy entirely. I commanded the wild ravens of the sky to fly to him every single morning and every single evening, carrying fresh bread and meat directly to his hands. When the physical brook of Cherith finally dried up, that dry bed was not Elijah's funeral. It was simply my divine signal that it was time for him to move to his next assignment of miraculous provision. I sent him directly to the home of a poor, starving widow in Zarephath, who had nothing left but a handful of flour in a jar and a tiny drop of oil in a jug, preparing to bake one final meal for herself and her son before they died of hunger. Yet when she honored my word and shared her meager resources with my servant, what happened to her kitchen? For days, for weeks, for entirely long months of agonizing famine all across the land, that jar of flour was absolutely never empty, and that jug of oil absolutely never ran dry. Every single morning when she woke up to prepare bread for her household, she found just enough new flour and just enough new oil waiting miraculously in the containers to sustain them for another day. My beloved child, I am the exact same God today. I am Jehovah Jireh, your absolute, unfailing provider, and my heavenly storehouses are not subject to earthly inflation, stock market crashes, or the corrupt, greedy manipulation of worldly systems. When your bank account runs dry, I want you to close your eyes, take a deep breath of faith, and remember that your personal economy is intimately tethered to the limitless treasury of heaven. I have 1,000 different ways to miraculously provide for your household that your human mind cannot even begin to imagine. Sometimes my provision looks like a sudden, unexpected check arriving in the mail from a forgotten source. Sometimes it looks like a sudden, miraculous reduction in a medical bill that would have otherwise wiped out your savings. Sometimes it looks like your physical possessions, your vehicle, your appliances, and your clothing supernaturally lasting for years beyond their normal lifespan without breaking down or needing expensive repairs. Sometimes I provide by placing your name into the minds of people who have the exact resources you need, actively commanding them to bless you with honorable employment, creative opportunities, or generous unprompted gifts. Do not limit me by obsessively staring at the closed doors of conventional earthly finance. Lift your eyes to the heavens and trust the great provider. When you walk in absolute obedience and unshakable gratitude, I will personally ensure that your jar of flour absolutely never fails and your jug of oil never runs dry, even in the absolute middle of a global economic famine. Now, let us address the heavy, crushing, suffocating weight of earthly debt that has burdened your shoulders and stolen your peace of mind for far too long. I know how deeply debt affects an older believer. It feels like an invisible chain wrapped tightly around your ankles, dragging you down every single time you attempt to step forward into freedom. It feels like a relentless, cruel taskmaster standing constantly outside your door, demanding payments that consume your hard-earned sustenance and leaving you with nothing to save for your future or to pass on to your children. You may carry deep, painful feelings of shame regarding how these debts were originally incurred. Perhaps they came from unavoidable medical emergencies that suddenly struck your family. Perhaps they were the result of co-signing a loan to help a struggling child who could not pay you back. Or perhaps they were simply the lingering consequence of trying to survive during a long, agonizing season of unemployment or underemployment. The enemy desperately tries to use this financial bondage to condemn you, whispering that because you owe money to earthly institutions, you are somehow a second-class citizen in my kingdom, permanently disqualified from experiencing true financial peace. I am stepping directly into your financial situation today with a sovereign, unbreakable decree of divine deliverance. I want you to deeply understand my heart regarding your debts. I absolutely hate oppression in all its forms, and debt is a cruel, relentless oppressor designed by worldly systems to keep my children in perpetual servitude. In my ancient laws, I specifically instituted the sacred year of Jubilee, a magnificent, holy time that occurred every 50 years where every single financial debt across the entire nation was supernaturally canceled, every mortgaged piece of family land was completely returned to its original owners, and every person who had sold themselves into servitude to pay off their bills was set entirely, unconditionally free. My precious child, when my Son Jesus Christ shed his precious blood and rose victorious from the grave, he officially inaugurated an eternal, perpetual spirit of jubilee for all who believe in his name. He is your ultimate Redeemer, the one who cancels the heavy handwriting of requirements that stood against you, both in the spiritual realm of your sins and in the practical realm of your earthly bondage. I am actively orchestrating supernatural pathways right now to systematically erase the heavy debts that have kept your household in servitude. This divine erasure will absolutely not happen through magic or irresponsible passivity. It will happen through a powerful combination of my supernatural favor and the new, profound divine wisdom I am pouring directly into your mind. I am going to open unexpected, honorable doors of opportunity for you, providing dignified means of income that do not break your aging body or steal your spiritual peace. I am moving upon the hard, calculating hearts of institutional decision-makers, causing them to show unexpected leniency, to forgive outstanding balances, to restructure impossible terms, and to release you from obligations that were choking your livelihood. I promise you right now, as you listen to my voice, that your home is completely covered by my protective canopy. Even if your bank accounts experience temporary moments of emptiness, absolutely no oppressor will be permitted to knock on your door to strip away your shelter, to confiscate your basic necessities, or to terrorize your emotional stability. I am breaking the heavy chains of debt off your life so that you can finally breathe the pure, intoxicating air of absolute financial freedom. You are going to walk out of the shadow of what you owe to men and step completely into the brilliant light of what you inherit from God. You will owe no man anything except the continuing obligation to love them with my unconditional grace. As this heavy burden of financial debt is methodically removed from your life, I want you to deeply grasp the true, sacred purpose of the financial provision I am releasing to you. In the hands of a righteous, mature believer who has been refined by long years of trial, financial provision ceases to be a mere worldly commodity and is completely transformed into a sacred instrument of family peace. Why do I deeply desire to bless you with abundance in this specific season of your life? Because I clearly see the heavy, generational burdens your children and your grandchildren are currently carrying. I see how the modern world is actively crushing the younger generations under impossible costs of living, massive educational debts, and relentless economic pressure. I see the marital friction, the domestic arguments, and the deep emotional anxiety that constantly plague their homes because they are desperately struggling to make ends meet. I am blessing you, my beloved patriarch, my precious matriarch, so that you can become a mighty, tangible blessing to your entire lineage. When your household is completely overflowing with my supernatural provision, you will have the exquisite, joyful privilege of being a divine answer to your family's desperate prayers. You will no longer have to watch your children struggle from a painful distance, feeling helpless and empty-handed. You will have the capacity to step in with quiet, humble generosity, to pay off a debilitating bill that was causing them sleepless nights, to help fund the education of a brilliant grandchild, or to provide a safe, comfortable shelter when their worldly foundations shake. Think of the profound, unexplainable healing that occurs in a family structure when the constant, toxic friction of financial scarcity is completely removed. When a young family is suddenly relieved of a crushing debt by the generous hand of a faithful parent or grandparent, the immediate shift in their emotional atmosphere is absolutely breathtaking. The harsh, angry words born of chronic stress are rapidly replaced by tears of relief and deep gratitude. The heavy, dark cloud of impending disaster is lifted, allowing marriages to heal, allowing parents to be patient and present with their children, and creating a safe, tranquil home environment where the Holy Spirit can actively move and minister to their souls. This is what I mean when I promise you generational provision. It is not merely the transfer of cold paper money or digital wealth from one bank account to another. It is the sacred transfer of family stability, emotional peace, and undeniable proof of my covenant faithfulness from one generation to the next. You are actively building an impenetrable fortress of provision around your family tree. Long after you have transitioned from this temporary earthly life into my eternal glory, the specific financial seeds you are sowing in faith today will continue to produce a massive, abundant harvest of protection and stability for descendants who have not yet even been born. They will look back at the historical record of your life. They will clearly see how you stood firm in faith when the world was shaking. They will see how I miraculously canceled your debts and opened the storehouses of heaven over your home. And they will declare with absolute conviction, the God of our grandparents is truly a faithful God, and we will serve Him with all our hearts. Your financial breakthrough is the exact, specific catalyst I am using to permanently break the dark, inherited cycles of poverty, lack, and economic anxiety that have haunted your family bloodline for generations. To walk successfully in this magnificent realm of generational provision, you must deeply cultivate an absolute, unshakable trust in my divine timing. I know that as you look back over the long years of your life, one of your absolute greatest struggles has been waiting for my promises to manifest in the physical realm. You have prayed fervent, passionate prayers for financial deliverance and family restoration for 5 years, for 10 years, perhaps even for 30 or 40 years. You have watched seasons come and go. You have seen other people around you apparently receive their breakthroughs with relative ease, and you have quietly wondered in the deep recesses of your soul why my answers to your specific cries seem to be delayed for so long. You have knocked on doors that stubbornly refuse to open. You have pursued business opportunities or employment avenues that seemed so promising at first, only to see them suddenly fall apart and crumble into disappointing dust. In your human limitations, those long delays and closed doors felt like agonizing rejections, leading you to briefly question whether you had somehow misunderstood my voice or failed to meet some secret spiritual requirement. I want to pull back the eternal curtain today and give you a profound, comforting revelation regarding those closed doors and those long, agonizing years of waiting. My beloved child, absolutely not a single microsecond of your waiting has ever been wasted, nor has any delay in my kingdom ever been the result of my indifference or neglect. My divine timing is an infinitely complex, perfectly synchronized, breathtaking masterpiece of cosmic choreography. When you pray for a massive financial breakthrough or a major generational shift, you are asking for something that requires the precise alignment of countless moving variables across the entire landscape of human society. While you were down on your knees, agonizingly crying out for a sudden answer, I was actively working behind the scenes with absolute surgical precision. I was systematically softening the hard hearts of people who hold the keys to your earthly opportunities. I was carefully shifting institutional policies, aligning financial markets, moving specific individuals into strategic positions of authority, and meticulously clearing away the hidden, dangerous stumbling blocks from your future path. Even more importantly than orchestrating the external circumstances, I was actively using those long years of waiting to perform a profound, necessary, and beautiful work of preparation deeply within your own character. If I had simply handed you massive financial abundance or complete generational success 20 or 30 years ago, before your faith had been thoroughly refined in the fires of patience, that very blessing might have easily destroyed you. It might have pulled your heart away from my presence, inflated your human ego with dangerous pride, or made you vulnerable to the deceptive, manipulative schemes of wicked people who would have quickly exploited your resources and left your family in ruins. I love you entirely too much to ever give you a blessing that your character is not yet fully equipped to sustain. Every single door that I firmly slammed shut in your past was not an act of cruelty. It was an act of profound, protective, fatherly love. I was actively shielding you from lesser things, protecting you from toxic business partnerships, preserving you from financial traps set by the enemy, and keeping you safely hidden until the exact, perfect, appointed hour of your destiny arrived. Now, hear the word of the Lord your God today. The long, exhausting season of painful waiting is officially, permanently over. The divine alarm clock of heaven has struck the exact hour of your breakthrough. The precise, miraculous answers that you have laid upon my altar for entire decades are no longer lingering in the distance. They are rapidly descending upon your life right this very moment, with supernatural speed and absolute, undeniable precision. What has taken other people entire lifetimes of exhausting human striving to accomplish, I am going to manifest in your life in a mere fraction of the time through the sheer power of my divine favor. You are going to watch with absolute, speechless awe as situations that have been hopelessly deadlocked for 20 years suddenly untangle and resolve themselves in a single afternoon. You will see financial accounts that have been stagnant or barren suddenly flourish with unexpected, lawful, honorable increase. You will witness people who previously ignored your voice or dismissed your family suddenly reach out to you with profound respect, eagerly offering the exact opportunities, contracts, employment, or assistance that you deeply need to secure your household's future. When my provision arrives at the exact right time, it comes with a profound, unearthly ease that completely distinguishes it from the exhausting, stressful achievements of the world. My blessing makes a person rich, and I add absolutely no sorrow, no anxiety, no sleepless nights, and no relational destruction along with it. You will not have to compromise your integrity. You will not have to abandon your quiet morning hours of prayer. And you will not have to sacrifice your precious health to maintain the abundance I am giving you. It will flow into your life like a steady, peaceful, refreshing river, seamlessly feeding the roots of your family tree and providing an abundant, cooling shade for every soul that seeks shelter under your roof. Your only required task in this new season is to remain deeply humble, to continuously practice radical, unshakable gratitude, and to listen with extreme sensitivity to the quiet, gentle promptings of my Holy Spirit as I guide you in how to wisely manage and distribute the magnificent inheritance I am placing into your hands. Do not allow the dark, terrifying headlines of the world's news to intimidate you or cause you to draw back in fear as you step into this realm of generational provision. The earthly economic systems of men may indeed shake, totter, and violently collapse, exactly as ancient towers built on sand must inevitably fall when the storms arise. The world will continuously experience dark cycles of recession, inflation, panic, and scarcity because their entire foundation is built upon the fragile, shifting sands of human greed and worldly speculation. But you are entirely a citizen of a higher, eternal, unshakable kingdom. Your resources are securely deposited in a heavenly treasury where neither moth nor rust can corrupt, where no thief can possibly break through and steal, and where the currency is infinitely backed by the unfailing eternal word of the living God. As long as the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall never cease. You have literally sown massive, beautiful seeds of righteousness, tears, intercession, and faithful financial generosity into my kingdom for decades. Now the absolute mathematical law of heaven demands that your harvest must come forth. Lift up your head, my veteran warrior, my faithful servant, my beloved aging child. Look out across the vast spiritual landscape of your life and clearly see the dark clouds of lack permanently dispersing before the radiant warmth of my rising sun. The era of barely surviving, of constantly pinching pennies in silent anxiety, of lying awake wondering how you will pay the next bill, and of weeping in secret over the financial struggles of your descendants has permanently drawn to a close. You are stepping across the threshold into a spacious, well-watered land flowing with milk and honey, a place of profound sufficiency where you will always have all that you need for your own household, with an overflowing, magnificent abundance left over for every good work and every charitable deed I call you to perform. Let your soul deeply rejoice today. Let your aging physical body relax its chronic tension. And let your spirit soar with unbridled joy, because the sovereign Lord your God has specifically commanded his blessings to rest upon your storehouses, upon your physical health, and upon every single endeavor to which you set your newly anointed hands. The abundant storehouses of heaven are already pouring out upon your life, paving the exact way for the ultimate culmination of your lifelong faith. Where the massive doors of destiny finally swing wide open, my deeply beloved and faithful child, we have finally arrived at the majestic, breathtaking summit of this beautiful journey together. You have patiently walked with me through the quiet, healing sanctuary of my stillness. You have bravely allowed me to completely dismantle the suffocating walls of your long-held anxieties. You have received the heavy, glorious mantle of generational leadership, completely broken the dark chains of inherited doubt, and learned how to actively feast upon the true, eternal bread of life. You have mastered the profound, dignified wisdom of divine silence in the face of your detractors, built an absolutely impenetrable fortress around your heavily guarded heart, and discovered the massive supernatural power of unshakable gratitude. You have allowed my ocean of endless grace to permanently wash away the paralyzing ghosts of your past mistakes, deeply anchoring your precious mind in a state of absolute, unyielding emotional fortitude. I have officially opened the limitless storehouses of heaven over your life, actively erasing the heavy burdens of earthly debt and securing a magnificent foundation of generational provision for your entire family line. And now, my precious one, as the brilliant, golden light of this new era fully crests over the horizon of your life, I am taking you gently by the hand and leading you directly to the ultimate, magnificent culmination of your lifelong faith. I want you to stop entirely for a moment and look back over the vast, sweeping landscape of your earthly journey. I know that when you look in the mirror, the world tells you a very specific, incredibly flawed story about who you are. The world points to the silver in your hair, the deep lines etched upon your face, and the physical weariness in your aging bones, and it cruelly whispers that your absolute best days are far behind you. But when I look at you, my beloved, I do not see the fading of human strength. I see the breathtaking, undeniably beautiful manifestation of a faith that has been violently tested in the hottest fires of this fallen world and has emerged as pure, radiant, unbreakable gold. Every single line on your face is a majestic badge of honor, a physical testament to a massive, invisible storm that you successfully navigated by holding tightly to my hand. Every single gray hair is a magnificent crown of glory, representing thousands of days where you actively chose to believe in my absolute goodness, even when your immediate circumstances loudly screamed that all was completely lost. You have survived heartbreaks that would have entirely destroyed a lesser soul. You have carried crushing burdens that were never meant for your shoulders. And you have continued to fiercely love the people around you, even when your own heart was shattered into a million unrecognizable pieces. And in all of those long, agonizing years of quiet, desperate endurance, I want you to know with absolute, unshakable certainty that not a single, solitary tear you ever shed went unnoticed by your Heavenly Father. The world may have completely ignored your quiet suffering. The people you desperately tried to help may have been entirely blind to the immense sacrifices you made on their behalf. But I was there. I was standing intimately close to you in the darkest, most terrifying hours of your absolute lowest valleys. I was sitting right beside you on the edge of your bed during those countless, long, agonizing nights when you buried your face in your pillow and wept until you had absolutely no physical strength left to cry. I saw the hot, desperate tears of profound exhaustion when you felt you simply could not face another difficult morning. I saw the bitter, agonizing tears of deep betrayal when those you trusted the absolute most completely turned their backs and walked away from you. I saw the heavy, terrified tears of intercession as you pleaded on your knees for the physical protection, the emotional healing, and the eternal salvation of your precious children and grandchildren. I saw the silent, lonely tears of profound grief when you had to say painful, earthly goodbyes to the beautiful people you loved so dearly, wondering how your heart would ever continue beating without them by your side. I want to give you a profound, beautiful revelation today regarding those tears. In my eternal, sovereign kingdom, the tears of my faithful children are never simply absorbed by the dirt and completely forgotten. They are considered the absolute most precious, holy, and valuable substance in the entire universe. My ancient words promised you that I personally collect every single one of your tears, and I carefully store them in my heavenly bottle. I have kept a meticulous, eternal record of every single moment you were entirely brokenhearted. You must deeply understand that your tears were never a sign of your spiritual weakness or a display of your failure. They were the absolute purest, most profound form of prayer. When the agony in your soul was so incredibly deep that you absolutely could not form coherent theological words, your tears spoke a loud, clear, majestic language directly to my heart. They ascended instantly to my high throne, carrying the heavy weight of your desperate faith, and I received every single one of them with absolute, overwhelming, unconditional love. You have spent entire decades quietly watering the spiritual soil of your life with your hidden sorrows, entirely unaware of the massive, breathtaking miracle that was secretly germinating directly beneath the surface of your pain. This brings us to the magnificent, unalterable spiritual law of the heavenly harvest. My word declares with absolute, sovereign authority that those who sow in tears shall inevitably, undeniably reap in songs of profound, unbridled joy. Those who go out weeping, carrying seeds to deeply plant in the cold, dark, unforgiving soil of their earthly trials, will absolutely return with joyful shouting, carrying massive, overflowing sheaves of abundant blessing directly in their arms. For a very long time, my beloved, you have been living in the dark, painful, exhausting season of the planting. You have been faithfully sowing incredibly beautiful seeds of relentless love, profound forgiveness, tireless intercession, and unyielding obedience, and you have been sowing them directly into the dark, bitter, agonizing soil of deep disappointment, profound loss, and terrifying uncertainty. When you chose to forgive a person who deeply wronged you and absolutely never apologized, you planted a massive seed of divine grace. When you faithfully gave your last financial resources to someone in desperate need while you were completely struggling to survive yourself, you planted a powerful seed of supernatural provision. When you continued to passionately worship me and praise my holy name while your own body was racked with intense physical pain and your mind was violently assaulted by fear, you planted the absolute highest, most majestic seed of ultimate, unshakable faith. In your limited, human understanding, the long, dark season of the planting often felt exactly like a permanent burial. When you placed your deepest hopes and your most precious dreams into the dark ground of delayed answers, the enemy violently mocked you, loudly insisting that those dreams were completely, permanently dead. He told you that you had wasted your entire life believing in empty, unfulfilled promises, and that the beautiful, fertile soil of your heart was actually a cold, forgotten graveyard of massive disappointment. But the enemy is a complete, absolute liar, and he entirely lacks the divine capacity to comprehend the miraculous, sweeping power of my resurrection life. I am officially declaring to you today that the long, incredibly bitter, agonizing winter of your life has definitively passed. The heavy, freezing rain is entirely over and gone. The dark, frozen ground of your long waiting has completely thawed under the brilliant, radiant warmth of my sovereign love. The beautiful, profound season of the singing of birds has finally come to your land, and those precious tear-soaked seeds that you thought were completely dead and forever lost in the dark are right now, in this exact, specific moment, miraculously blooming into the most massive, breathtaking, unimaginable harvest of your entire earthly existence. You are actively transitioning from the exhausting, tear-filled era of the sowing directly into the magnificent, joyous, overwhelming era of the reaping. The spectacular harvest I am bringing forth from the dark soil of your past sorrow is so incredibly vast, so profoundly beautiful, and so entirely comprehensive that it will completely astound your natural mind. The desperate, agonizing prayers you prayed for your children 3 decades ago, the specific prayers you thought had been completely ignored, are rapidly springing out of the ground right now as beautiful, undeniable testimonies of their sudden deliverance and total restoration. The quiet, faithful financial sacrifices you made when nobody else was watching are rapidly shooting out of the soil as massive, overflowing streams of unexpected generational abundance that will completely secure the future of your entire household. The profound, silent endurance you displayed when your own heart was entirely shattered is now fully blossoming into a massive, thick, protective canopy of ultimate emotional stability and unshakable peace that absolutely nothing in this chaotic world can ever penetrate. I am actively restoring to you every single beautiful thing that the dark, devouring locusts of time, sickness, financial ruin, and emotional heartbreak attempted to steal from your life. The incredible, sweeping magnitude of this divine harvest will completely dwarf the intensity of your previous suffering, permanently replacing the heavy, suffocating ashes of your deepest mourning with an incredibly brilliant, magnificent crown of unexplainable, everlasting joy. As you look in absolute awe at this miraculous blooming harvest, I am gently turning your shoulders to face the ultimate destination of your long earthly pilgrimage. For many years, you have been patiently standing in a long, dark, incredibly narrow hallway. You have been waiting, praying, and holding on to my promises with a trembling but entirely unbroken faith. You have watched other people open small, temporary doors and walk into brief seasons of worldly success, while you remain steadfastly at your post, entirely unwilling to compromise your spiritual integrity for a cheap, fleeting, earthly shortcut. Your absolute loyalty and your fierce, unyielding patience have completely ravished my heart. And now, at the exact, perfectly ordained, mathematically precise moment of my sovereign timeline, you have finally arrived directly before the massive, towering, glorious door of your ultimate destiny. This is absolutely not a metaphorical concept. It is the most profound, undeniable spiritual reality of your present moment. The door that currently stands before you is a majestic, ancient, unshakable portal of pure, radiant light, entirely inscribed with your specific name and completely covered in the eternal, unbreakable promises I made to you before the very foundation of the earth was laid. I want you to vividly, deeply experience the reality of this massive door. It is absolutely not a door that leads to more exhausting struggles, more complex, terrifying tests of your faith, or more agonizing, tear-filled seasons of painful preparation. Those previous doors are permanently closed and securely locked completely behind you. The massive door that currently dominates your view is the ultimate threshold of absolute, complete, and total fulfillment. It is the majestic entrance into a profound golden era where the deep, relentless, exhausting battles you have fought for decades completely and permanently cease. It is the beautiful, welcoming entrance into a sweeping season where my supernatural favor actively rests upon your life, not as an occasional fleeting occurrence, but as a constant, heavy, daily, undeniable reality. And I am speaking to you right now with the absolute supreme authority of the one who holds the ancient sovereign keys of David. When I personally open a door for you, absolutely no man, no demonic force, no economic collapse, and no strategy of darkness can ever possibly shut it. And when I permanently shut the dark doors of your painful past, absolutely nothing in the universe can ever force them open again. Listen closely, my precious child. Do you hear the profound, echoing, majestic sound in the spiritual atmosphere? The massive, ancient golden hinges of this door are turning right now. It is absolutely not a future event that you must agonizingly wait another 10 years to experience. It is actively happening right here, right now. In the exact moment you are hearing my voice. The door is slowly, beautifully swinging completely wide open, and an incredibly brilliant, pure, blindingly warm light is actively spilling out from the other side, completely flooding the dark hallway where you have stood for so long. The light is touching your weary feet, moving slowly up your tired legs, and completely washing over your face. You can physically feel the temperature of your reality entirely changing. The cold, damp, suffocating air of your long waiting is violently rushing out, instantly replaced by the warm, crisp, deeply intoxicating, oxygen-rich wind of my Holy Spirit, blowing completely fresh life, renewed purpose, and absolute victory directly into your lungs. I know that taking the final step across this massive threshold requires a profound, entirely new kind of courage. Sometimes, the heavy, dark hallway of our suffering becomes so incredibly familiar that we grow secretly afraid to leave it. You have become so deeply accustomed to the constant posture of fighting, surviving, and bracing yourself for the next inevitable disaster that the sudden, absolute arrival of total peace might actually feel entirely foreign to your mind. The enemy is aggressively whispering a final, desperate lie right now, telling you that this massive door is far too good to be true, that it is simply an illusion, and that if you dare to step through it, you will only face an even more devastating, heartbreaking disappointment. He desperately wants you to hesitate, to pull back, and to choose the familiar, agonizing pain of your history over the terrifying, glorious freedom of your brand new future. But I am fiercely, lovingly commanding you to entirely silence that lying voice forever. I am standing directly on the other side of this magnificent, massive door, with my arms opened completely wide, and I am loudly, joyfully calling your specific name. Do not hesitate for a single, fleeting microsecond. Do not look back over your shoulder at the crumbling ruins of your past mistakes. Do not look back at the people who maliciously misunderstood you, the opportunities that painfully passed you by, or the long years you thought were entirely wasted. Leave the heavy, suffocating baggage of your earthly trauma completely in the hallway. You absolutely will not need your heavy, battered shield of defense in this new room. You absolutely will not need your sharp, heavy sword of spiritual warfare in this new season, because I have completely and permanently defeated your ultimate enemies. The long, brutal, agonizing war for your soul, your mind, and your family's destiny is absolutely, entirely over, and you have emerged as the absolute, undisputed, undeniable victor. Lift your right foot, my beautiful, faithful warrior, and step boldly, unapologetically, and completely across the golden threshold. The absolute moment you cross that magnificent line, the entire spiritual atmosphere of your existence permanently, radically shifts. You will instantly feel a massive, invisible, crushing weight permanently lift off your shoulders. The chronic, deep-seated, agonizing tension that you have carried in your physical body for decades will instantly, miraculously melt away. The loud, chaotic, terrifying noise of the world's constant panic will instantly be muted, permanently replaced by the profound, majestic, unshakable silence of my eternal peace. You are entirely stepping out of the dark, restrictive, suffocating realm of human limitation, and you are stepping completely into the vast, boundless, breathtakingly beautiful realm of divine, supernatural possibility. You are officially leaving the exhausting, tear-filled valley of the shadow of death entirely behind you. And you are permanently taking your rightful seat at the massive, overflowing, beautifully prepared banquet table that I have meticulously set for you, right in the absolute center of your former enemy's presence. And as you fully enter this incredibly brilliant, glorious new room, the very first thing you will encounter is not merely a collection of massive earthly blessings, though those are abundantly present. The very first thing you will absolutely encounter is me. I am rushing forward to meet you. I am actively wrapping my massive, strong, eternal, unshakable arms completely around your fragile, trembling, weary frame. I want you to close your eyes right now and deeply, physically imagine the overwhelming, breathtaking sensation of being completely, entirely held by the Creator of the vast universe. In my absolute, unconditional embrace, every single lingering question that ever tortured your mind is instantly, perfectly answered. Every single microscopic trace of fear, anxiety, guilt, and deep insecurity is instantly, permanently incinerated by the absolute, blinding purity of my love. You are entirely safe here. You are completely protected. You are profoundly, deeply understood, and you are cherished with a fierce, jealous, unrelenting passion that completely defies human comprehension. As I hold you securely against my chest, I am gently placing my hand upon your head, and I am speaking the absolute, ultimate, eternal blessing directly over your entire life. I am loudly declaring to the millions of warrior angels watching from the heavenly galleries, look closely at this magnificent, beautiful child of mine. Look at their fierce, unbreakable loyalty. Look at the profound, staggering faith they maintain through the darkest, most terrifying fires of the earthly realm. They absolutely did not quit. They absolutely did not surrender to the suffocating darkness. They held tightly to my promises when absolutely everything around them was completely falling apart. And now, I speak directly into your ear the absolute most beautiful, profound, validating words your soul will ever possibly hear. Well done, my incredibly good, my profoundly faithful, my deeply beloved servant. You have fought the good, honorable fight. You have successfully, beautifully finished the long, agonizing race. You have entirely kept the faith against all impossible odds. Enter completely, permanently, and joyfully into the absolute, unshakable joy of your Lord. Everything we have spoken about today, the profound relief from your anxiety, the massive, supernatural elevation of your spiritual authority, the beautiful, dignified wisdom to completely ignore your detractors, the incredible, multiplying power of your daily gratitude, the total, permanent cleansing of your mental guilt, and the abundant, generational opening of the heavenly storehouses over your family, all of it is completely culminating in this exact, specific, magnificent moment. The massive harvest of your lifelong faith is absolutely no longer a distant theological concept or a vague, uncertain hope for tomorrow. It is your present, absolute, undeniable reality. The beautiful, profound miracles you have tearfully waited for your entire life are actively manifesting in your hands right now. The total, sweeping restoration of your entire household is absolutely complete. The profound, unshakable peace that surpasses all human understanding is now the permanent, heavy atmosphere of your daily existence. I am permanently sealing this massive, spectacular victory over your life with the holy, unbreakable, eternal blood of my Son. Absolutely nothing in this world, no sudden tragedy, no economic collapse, no political upheaval, and no demonic strategy will ever be able to pluck you out of my strong protective hands. You are mine, you have always been entirely mine, and you will remain completely, beautifully mine for all of eternity. The glorious, radiant morning has fully broken. The dark, terrifying shadows have completely, permanently fled away. The beautiful, long-awaited season of your ultimate earthly and spiritual triumph has officially begun. You have successfully navigated the agonizing storm, you have faithfully endured the incredibly long, dark night, and you have finally, beautifully arrived at the absolute greatest, most profoundly blessed destination of your entire life. Your long season of painful waiting is permanently over. Step boldly into the brilliant light, my beloved child, for your eternal inheritance begins today.